doing some grave dancing today. The Vorsh cabal has pretty much fallen apart. Vorsh got caught with Lolly. Xander Howell got caught being a moron. Careful's got caught scamming. And Demon Mama has been hanging out with kids on Discord. Who could have possibly expected that from a trans fairy with a polycule full of other trans fairies that talk about trans rights on the internet? Like, let's all be super shocked at this weird person has turned out to be even more of a freak than we knew. And when I say that, I mean that because some of us have known that she's a fucking freak for years. That she conducts herself in an extremely inappropriate way when talking to others, can turn pretty simple debates into screaming matches just by being the biggest dick ever. And that's kind of what we're talking about. So we've got a video by someone called Westside Tyler explaining some of the stuff that she's been outed for, which involves things like chatting to 13-year-olds when she was like 26 or something, because she's like my age. She's like a few months younger than I am. Anyway, just for a bit of the flavor, let's have a look at some clips. Here we go. So this is her against someone called Hands of Harkir. We're just going to watch a little bit of this, and it's kind of most of the way through the video.
It is going to Roblox themselves. Will you stop them and institutionalize them? And,
yes, I would.
And you said yes for them.
No.
And then so what I'm asking then.
No.
Hans, I'm done. Hans, she's so scared. She's so scared of going forward in this hypothetical because she knows how fucking bad it sounds. Holy shit.
Asking about for other people's kids. For other people's kids, would you be okay with the state doing that to other people's children if the kids go into Roblox themselves? It's a yes or no question.
Hans. First of all, I'm actually done with this. Like, we're not going to continue with this afterwards. Like, I'm actually done. And consider this a serious mark on our friendship. Because I think this is remarkably ridiculous.
Wait, a mark on our friendship?
I'm done.
And then I'm asking about for other people's kids. For other people's kids, would you be okay with the state doing that to other people's children if the kids go into Roblox themselves? It's a yes or no question.
Hans. First of all, I'm actually done with this. Like, we're not going to continue with this afterwards. Like, I'm actually done. And consider this a serious mark on our friendship.
Consider this a serious mark on our friendship. They were talking about, like, whether school should be mandatory or not. Like, what the fuck?
Because I think this is remarkably ridiculous. First of all, you asked me two different questions. The first time you said, would I personally tackle my child if they were in physical danger? Yes, I would take that onto myself. I would take the risk of potentially harming my child physically under my own.
No one cares. Notice how much she wants to talk about this one thing because optically it looks good. I would do anything to protect my child, and then also because it gives her more time to either think of an answer to the other hypothetical or avoid answering it. But she'll sit here and like entangle with this part that nobody cares about because nobody's asking. Nobody cares what you would do specifically.
Hands. And if I hurt them in the process, that would be my goddamn responsibility because I chose to intervene there.
Wow.
Then, just very, very slippery, you just about 5 seconds ago change.
This is what she does. She'll review the debate during the debate. So what tends to happen is we'll start off fairly normal. She'll do a lot of rambling and not a lot of talking, as in like actual saying things. She'll just speak and nothing will come out. And then the other person will start getting frustrated, maybe start like cutting in a bit because she's talking too much and not saying anything and not really making her ideas known. And then she'll start getting angry about being interrupted, and sooner or later it'll start becoming a meta conversation, usually where people start getting angry at each other. I'm pretty sure she just kind of she just kind of baits people into getting angry and then complains at them for being rude or whatever. Anyway.
Content warning. This video contains descriptions of despicable acts and depravity involving children that may disgust or disturb you. Do not listen to this video in any public places or where others may hear the content described herein. No graphic images will be shown directly, though representations obscured with mosaic overlays may be used. Viewer discretion is advised. On July 29th, 2024, a self-identified leftist online political commentator and live streamer known online by her handle Demon Mama aired...
There we go, Demon Mama. Note the pretty crazy get-up, but the complete lack of like any effort made on the face. This is a very common thing with trans people. I have absolutely no idea why. Like, I guess I kind of seem like the opposite because I wear really boring clothes and then I tend to actually do my makeup, but... It's a very strange, I don't know why it's like that. I just know so many like trans women that refuse to wear makeup. Bizarre. It's like Sam Smith. Like, you ever see those pictures of Sam Smith where he's like in a fucking dress, but his head looks completely just like a male? So like you've got like the body of some, I don't know, a drag queen or something, and then you chop the head off of like the bartender from like a craft beer pub and stuck that on top. no makeup, like full facial hair, short haircut. It just doesn't look good.
A roughly 3-hour and 5-minute live stream titled Xander Hall Wants a Nuke, Here Is Your Nuke. During the video, she laid out a series of accusations against another politics live streamer in her space.
I didn't watch her nuke on Xander Hall because, to be honest, I think she's just as bad, if not worse. And I find her a bit disgusting. I don't want to listen to her do a victory lap because it turns out all the other members of the Vosh Cabal got like cancelled before she did. And the thing is, people have been giving like Demon Mama like charity for a long time. I've heard the way people put the kid gloves on for her, and it's embarrassing. Like, I get that you probably want to keep those connections open, but it's fucking Demon Mama. Why would you want to keep that fucking connection open? Like, fuck that shit. Disgusting.
The Xander Hall mentioned in the title. In this live stream, amongst a number of...
Yeah, and like the Xander Hall thing, it really was a case, just like the Keffels video she did, which I did cover. The Xander Hall thing was her putting in like the 50th knife after everyone else had already been fucking putting knives into him because, let's face it, it's Xander Hall. And like, all she had was like a bit of extra like context of him going a bit off the rails, being like, hey guys, did you know Xander Hall's a fucking retard? And it's like, most of us knew that like 2 years ago. So like, why would anyone give her any credit for like fucking outing him as slightly more of a freak than we already knew he was, you know? And this was shit that people knew for years. He's going to go into that. Sorry, not for years. This is shit that people knew about for like 6 months. And they only released because now it's like advantageous to, because everyone hates Xander Hall, as if most people didn't already. Like, she's a fucking coward. She used the Keffels thing, by the way, as a way to shit on the commentary community. Like, she wouldn't talk about it when the Mutahar video came out, and she definitely wouldn't have talked about it when the Destiny video came out way before that, because she doesn't really give a fuck about any of this kind of shit. You know, she's just doing whatever's advantageous. So once a trans person came out with their own thread about Xander Hall, Keffels, once a trans person came out with their own thread on Twitter about Keffels, suddenly she's got loads to say. And like, she'll go out of her way to make like little digs at like commentary videos like Mutahar's when they're all correct. And she should have known this shit ages ago, because some people have been exposing her for way longer than that. So hey, she knew about Keffels the whole time. Doesn't get credit for that. She doesn't get credit for the Keffels thing, the Xander Hall thing, either of those things. Like, fuck her, you know?
Of issues, Demon Mama claimed Xander Hall was especially onerous in his treatment of an employee known as Cherry Bread in online spaces, particularly accusing him of withholding pay for selfish reasons and generally being abusive. Now, mind you, these were not issues that Demon Mama had just found out about or that had recently occurred, but rather had happened over half a year prior and never been reported. Allegations that included abuse of a worker by their employer, exploitation, and even death threats. While Xander Hall was justifiably browbeaten for his bad behavior, for some reason, only I was asking a question that I thought would be obvious to everybody. What kind of person covers up evidence of abuse and death threats for months?
Yeah, he's kind of got her there. No offense to Demon Mama, she's kind of been got there. Like, why was she sitting on it for so long? It's pretty obvious. It's because she's a fucking snake, and it's like, she does it when it's advantageous to. She doesn't want to just burn the bridge with all these fucking idiots until everyone else already has. That's how it comes across to me, anyway.
In order to blackmail somebody. The answer is the sort of person who will cover up other stuff as well. And that answer led, obviously, to the second question. What kind of stuff?
Fashion. He got
Here he is, horseboy himself, Mr. Lolly.
uppity with me because I
Any Vorsh fans here?
said I made fun of the idea.
Anybody with a passing knowledge of Demon Mama knows she's closely connected to and in real life friends with Ian Kaczynski, known online as Vosh Vidya or Vosh. Vosh's roughly half-decade-long career online has been plagued with a series of scandals involving his ready use of child pornography and child sexual abuse as a rhetorical lever while crafting arguments. In fact, much of Vosh's rhetorical structure revolves around the use of sexual innuendo, and even outright gross sexual imposition against others. Some of the best-known memes regarding the, at the time of writing, 457,000 sub-YouTuber involve painting him as a child sexual predator, and his well-documented and outspoken desire to engage in acts of bestiality as a male horse. This culminated in early February 2024, when Vosh accidentally streamed the contents of a folder filled with pornography to a live audience of thousands, including a drawn image involving children performing oral sex on a horse. This is actually an important detail for later. Now colloquially known as the taxes folder incident, Vosh's pornography drop was condemned by nearly the entirety of the internet, with a few notable exceptions. To this day, Demon Mama has never openly condemned Vosh for his possession of these materials, and, from what I understand, discussion of the topic is largely banned on her Discord server.
Oof, yeah, I've never heard her say shit about Vosh. I mean, she had one of the more sensible responses, her and Xanderhal, because rather than do what Kaffels did and immediately throw themselves on the sword on Vosh's behalf, they just kind of kept on doing what they were doing. I guess, I don't know if Tipster counts as part of the Vosh cabal, but he did the same thing, threw himself on the fucking sword. He's completely finished now. Kaffels is off the internet. I don't know for how long, because it's Kaffels. She never tells the truth about anything, as far as I can tell. But yeah, it's Demon Mama's time now. Who's next? Demon Mama, that's who.
The answer to this quandary isn't deep. Demon Mama simply doesn't mind possession of these sorts of materials.
I've heard that the shaven eyebrow thing is actually racist. I don't know if this is true, because I knew this from... I used to be in this makeup group, like, at the start of lockdown. And, like, it started off normal and then got weirder and weirder, like, more and more woke. To the point where if you're a white person and you have these, like, slits in your eyebrows, you'll get called a racist for it. It got pretty wild. Anyway.
You would throw a fit if I didn't.
This is pseudo-Fawn.
Wait, that's not a biological woman? Could have fooled me.
Demon Mama's longtime partner and one of the two notable members of the polyamorous relationship.
Of course they have a polycool. That's one of the things... Listen, weird anarchy, socialist, communist ideology, polycool full of other males that also like really weird shit. It goes hand in hand. This is just how it works.
She shares with Doe, another slightly less well-known streamer with some presence in the debate sphere. Fawn began dating Demon Mama, real name Emily Sovis, sometime in June of 2017.
She actually looks kind of like a woman there. Jesus Christ. What happened?
According to a tweet posted to Fawn's Twitter in July of 2021. Some general internet sleuthing helped to narrow down Sovis's original home to Henrietta, New York, which also let us get the most important bit of information, her actual birth date, which was in October of 1990. That makes Demon Mama currently 33, and, according to Discord messages, Fawn attended the first Salt Lake Comic-Con in 2013 at the age of around 16 to 17, which would make Fawn around 27 to 28 now. These ages aren't immediately important, but they will be soon enough. For the better part of a decade, Fawn has expressed public interest in drawn pictures of children in sexual situations. There are a number of tweets to this effect.
You into cute little Shota dick, huh? Shota being little boys, by the way. Baby dick is kind of an endearing term, TBH. Cute little ones deserve love too. Nobody, so just coming out of this for no apparent reason on Twitter. What else we got? Unappealing peens on exaggerated bodies. Sometimes they draw a nice sound boy body, but they will never do the penises right. I don't know why you have to talk about this shit publicly, but hey.
But to quote a couple of them, I am extremely out of the loop in the world of pornography, probably because all I care about is trap and shota dojins. Shota is Japanese drawn pornography of prepubescent boys in sexual...
Nothing Nancy about that, right? Jesus Christ.
...situations. Also, yo, can anyone hook me up with about 4,000 drawings of traps, shotas, and new halves where I can crop solely to the face? Thanks in advance. Understanding the ages of the individuals involved and the context of what led them to this point is important in understanding the actual gravity of the situation when we get to the interview portion of this video and hear from a person who was victimized by these two individuals and who would have been around 13 years old when he started talking to Demon Mama in 2016. We'll get to that shortly, but to clear any confusion, Doe expressed interest in such materials and was still sharing and even making them as recently as this year, sharing their art depicting
So this is the other polycool member, so that's two of them that are into, like, weird, childish porn shit.
extremely young-looking animals and their own childish avatar creature on furry fetish website E621. They are categorized as children in the tags. If you are a remotely normal person, you will hear the things that I'm saying and probably think to yourself, what on earth is going on with these people?
I'm not remotely normal, and I think this is fucking disgusting, okay? Fuck this shit. You don't have to be normal to have a problem with fucking lolly porn and shit like that. It's disgusting. Like, just keep the sex shit and the kids shit separate. It's easy. It's really easy. Just do that.
I asked the same question, and a very, very curious thing happened. A lot of people from Demon Mama's community and the larger Vosh orbiter space seemed extremely concerned about everything regarding the way I talked about her bizarre behavior, except the fact that her partner of over half a decade likes polishing the carrot to draw on pictures of children in sexual...
This is always the way. They'll just find anything they can. And I thought for a while it was just like these trans cultists, but like anyone who's got some like weird ideology they're invested in, they won't talk about the shit you're actually saying. They'll find tiny things that they can have a problem with and then just go from there. And like conversations that you have, it's like not talking to a real person. It's like talking to someone who just finds a word in your last reply and then just bases it all on that, like completely forgetting whatever the last thing was about. They've just found a new thing to latch onto because they don't give a shit about actually making an argument. They're just finding ways of dismissing you. And it's a huge sign that people are like full of shit and maybe in a thought cult where they don't entirely know why they believe what they believe and can't actually go into detail on why they believe it. They can't explain it to other people.
Sexual situations. These include names of people like Somniostatic and Gay Fesh, who are often seen in Vosh's chat giving donos and outside of Vosh's chat doing whisper campaigns and trying, sometimes successfully, to get people's social media accounts shut down.
Gay Fesh. I hear the name now and then. He sounds like a massive cringe lord. I don't know too much about him, but yeah, here we go.
But they can't all know each other, right? Well, here they are in Demon Mama's stream at the same time during a reveal of her fursona. Posadas John, another consistent Vosh pay pig, is also there, and they all know the porno artist who drew Demon Mama's fursona, creature thing.
What the fuck is that meant to be? Jesus Christ. Reminder, this person is in her 30s, by the way.
And I find that strange. But for some reason, it's hard for people to articulate these ideas in this space because there's something of a cult of personality around Demon Mama, Vosh, and the other individuals mentioned. A cult that I believe threatens, coerces, and blackmails other creators into obedience. And it sounded much, much more far-fetched, even to me, when I was just sharing my thoughts.
Bro, I knew they were in a cult, like, almost immediately. You see someone that stupid, and you see what the chat is like, and is that sycophantic? There's a fucking cult going on. You don't need actually that much evidence to determine that, I don't think.
About it on stream. But you know who didn't think it sounded far-fetched? The person I'm going to introduce you to right now.
So anyway, here's a clip of Demon Mama. Hang on. This is Demon Mama versus Vegan Gains from not too long ago. I think this was 2 years ago. April 6th, 2022.
Back to the question I asked you. Fuck me. What was I gonna... Oh, yeah. If the only meat options
31 years old.
You had were human beings, and if you go to the grocery store, it's not chicken, it's not steak, whatever you eat, normally, it's just people, would you go vegan tomorrow if that was your only way to stop from paying for people to be killed and eaten?
I don't think I'd be able to go vegan tomorrow. I think that would be very difficult, especially because there's already stuff. Especially because there's already stuff that I purchased in my.
There's already stuff that she purchased. Like, what a fucking liar! She can't even engage like a single fucking bit. Let's skip a bit further forward.
The fact that vegans will walk into a chat and literally be incapable of engaging in human conversation, they just scream and try to act morally superior, and
see also trans rights activists.
Then walk away.
Okay, I'm not walking away from anything.
Well, we'll see about that. We'll see how
so
long
do you believe that buying meat causes more animals to die? Yes or no?
I think that indirectly people purchasing more meat can lead to more animals dying, but I don't know that it's an easily distillable number.
She doesn't know about fucking supply and demand. It's wild. This video is insane. I recommend watching all of it. But we have something more important to come back to. Here we go.
All right. So go ahead, introduce yourself, and then we can just hop into the timeline of stuff.
Okay. I am Glooby. I was a thumbnail artist for Demon Mama, and I've known her for about 8 years. I would consider myself, or I did consider myself, a close friend of hers for a good amount of time. I suppose I should just get into the timeline then. I met Demon Mama, as she's mentioned on stream a couple times, on Overwatch in 2016, late 2016 at the latest. I was 13, 14 at the time, and our relationship just started off like friendly, and we played games together. I eventually was introduced to her partners, and we played as well. And
can I ask you a little bit about those? So how did you first meet for real? Like, so what, you said you were playing a game. What game were you playing? And how old were you at the time?
So I was 13 or maybe 14 at the time. I think 13, because it would have been, if I remember correctly, it was on Overwatch on a Kings Row match. It wouldn't have been during any of the holiday stuff, so it wouldn't have been like decorated towards it. So it would have probably been summer of 2016. So I would have been 16 at the, or not 16, sorry, 13 at the time. I met her. She
was 26. He was 13.
She was in voice call and in the like match lobby, and people were like giving her shit for like talking. I'm guessing, I'm assuming it's because she's a trans woman and just people being bigoted and shitty. And I was like a goober little kid, so I was.
Surely they'd have only like known she was trans if she said so, which doesn't. That could make sense, to be fair. She seems like the kind of person that would volunteer that kind of information in a game where no one cares for no reason. But hey, I don't know. When I played TF2, like most people that went in chat, like voice chat, would get screamed at. So
it's like, fuck those people. If you want, we could go play it. We were doing well, yada yada. And we ended up grouping up together after that game and just continued playing throughout the night. And then we added each other on Discord. I don't know if it was that day or after a bit, but I know we played for a good bit, and then that's how we started talking online and all that.
And I think I'm aware that Demon Mama's age is she was born in 1990, I believe, so she would be about 26 in 2016.
I did not know that was her age. Good to know, actually. So that actually helps me a lot timeline wise here. So that will give me some good. Oh, that makes that worse.
Yeah,
knowing that.
Sorry, I went through. I endeavored to find necessary information because it's obviously quite relevant to this, knowing that the individual would be, 13 years older than you. If you're 13 and they're 26 is a substantial difference. But you guys hopped into the Discord and started talking immediately off and on. Did you join her Discord or did you just friend each other?
There was, I think, a server that I was, I forget. I know there was a couple people in it that she still has around. I know Fawn was in it, a partner at the time that she had, that she's not dating anymore. Some other folk that were just chill. What's it called? I know at first it was just DMs, and then I was invited into a server where we would go into VC, and it was either a server or a private DM call, or like one of the group ones. I can't remember specifically, but I think it was a server because it had VCs and text chats. I think.
And what did you guys talk about, and what was the nature of the server?
It was pretty casual. I know there was an art section, so it might have, it definitely. Okay, so if it was probably a server, then if it had an art section, and I know Fawn posted her stuff there, and I posted my stuff there. If it wasn't a server, then it was definitely in DMs or.
Art server means there's definitely going to be like porn in there. It's just as time goes on, the possibility of that happening approaches one, you know.
A private chat with all of us in it, because I remember us talking about the different art and Demon Mama being there and Fawn being there and some other folk being there. I don't want to name them. If I do name these people, I don't want them to like get thrown through the gutter for this because they were just there?
My primary focus on individuals that would have been around Demon Mama at the time are on people that are still around her now.
Okay.
So Demon Mama, Fawn, notable figures in her community like Gay Fesh and the like. Any of those individuals, I would like for you to bring up if it's okay with you. But
these people are all disturbed as fuck, as is anyone that's ever supported Demon Mama at any point in time for any reason.
Anybody who's a sort of like a private citizen and has since departed, there's absolutely no reason to bring them up.
Then in that case, I won't bring them. Yeah. All right. So at that point, it was casual, and I know I was sharing art. I don't know if it was not safe for work in nature at the time, but I know I was just sharing general art that I made in the chat, and Fawn was sharing the stuff that she made, and it was mostly not safe for work in nature. Some of it wasn't. Around then, I would say that's when like the sharing of it became like it started with Fawn. And I know Demon Mama did share some of the stuff that like she didn't draw. I know she doesn't draw, but I know she did share some of the stuff that she was into as well in the art chats.
Can I, this is going to be a little gross. You're already familiar with this stuff, but can I describe some of these images, and you can confirm that these are the ones that you sent me, that she sent you earlier?
Yes, go for it.
So one of them is this is from Pseudophon on July 28th, 2020. It's like the back end reproductive organs of a horse with a tail.
Oh, the atomically accurate.
Oh, so this is Fawn, the partner, who would have been, well, older than this person. But yeah.
Horse.
Yeah.
That I remember when I saw that the first time, I was shocked. I was like, oh, this is
Isn't it weird how like just women don't generally act like this and like do this kind of shit, especially around minors? Isn't it weird that it always seems to be like a born male kind of thing?
This is a bit much even for what I expected Fawn to be into. And at this point, well, I guess I will get to that in the timeline. But at this point, I thought I guess technically even I didn't follow it at the time as a minor. The now sharing of the not safe for work stuff while they moved to wherever they moved to.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm going to be honest, getting sent atomically accurate horse pussy out of nowhere was kind of like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person very much. And there was a general, I think I might actually have it in the DMs. There was kind of a gap before I talked to them again because it did make me uncomfortable at the time, and I won't lie about that.
Yeah,
see if I can find that.
There's another one. You might be a little bit back where the gap seems to be between Pseudophon in that same year, but April of 2020, sending you a picture of an erect penis with I'm assuming that's her like avatar or something hanging off the side of it.
Yeah, I am not sure what that is. That one, yeah, I was confused as well about that one, but I kind of just was like, yeah.
You know what? With most of this stuff, I just don't want to know. I don't want even to know what's underneath there. Like, fuck me. Even if it wasn't being sent to, like, literal children.
And then moved on because I really didn't want to acknowledge it, I guess.
And these people were pretty aware of your age. I mean, you said you were in voice chat. Obviously, if you're under, even 16 years old, you're probably, as they say, a squeaker.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that because it was told to me more than one time that I acted older and everything for my age by these people. Okay. So it's funny.
Oh, you act old for your age. Yeah. If an adult is telling you that, then be very careful around them. Fuck me. Oh God, that's disgusting.
In a fucked up sense, and it's not funny. I'm coping horribly right now.
No, it's completely fine. Did you think that was a major highlight of your relationship with these individuals while you were in the server with them, that you were notable for your youth and for sort of, I don't know, your kind of permissibility with sharing these fairly explicitly sexual images?
It like they acknowledged it, but it didn't really change anything, I guess. Like I kind of was just another one of the people in there, despite my age.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I can get into this part of the timeline then, the video call incident.
Please.
I think we were playing games at first, but it ended up being either we were playing games or drawing or hanging out or something. So I know Demon Mama and Fawn were in the call, and Fawn turned on her camera, and I look over, and she's flashing dildos on her screen and laughing. Mm-hmm. And what's it called? Demon Mama did, I will mention, Demon Mama did go Fawn like telling her to stop. But it did not stop Fawn for that to then go into detail and tell me which dildos were joke dildos and ones she actually used.
Jeez. And how old were you at the time?
I would have been at the most 14, 15.
Jesus fucking Christ, disgusting. Like, that's just fucking vile. Fuck me. And like, supposedly Demon Mama tells her to stop, but then she doesn't, and it just carries on. Like, I'm sorry, you've still got culpability there. Like, where's your safeguarding for like young people if you're gonna have them in your community? Fucking wild.
Okay. And were you on video? They were looking at you. You were looking at them, or is it just one?
I might have been on video. I don't think so, though. I don't think I had a webcam at that point.
Gotcha. And you would say that, so very clearly, Demon Mama noticed that something inappropriate was happening. They're fairly aware of your age, and she did not cut the call, even though she could have, and put a stop to that.
Yeah, it could have ended right then and there, but it did not. The call just kept going. And
how did that make you feel?
I was really uncomfortable in the moment. I didn't really know what to feel, I guess. I'm still kind of not really grasping the gravity of what has been going on and what has happened. I'm still very much just, I guess just, I just feel like fucked up about it. Just feel weird and really not good about all of it. And
would you say that at your age, was this probably one of maybe your first sexual experiences with?
Oh yeah, person? I would definitely say so.
And they sort of made that decision for you.
Yeah, I would definitely agree on that. I did not consent to that at all.
Was there more of this sort of horse playing with sexuality, knowing that there was a minor around happening, or was this kind of a one-off, or maybe something that they were testing the waters with? What was your impression?
Honestly, now knowing what Fonz tweeted, I don't know if there was anything malicious going on. I don't want to like imply that I feel that way, but it is really weird that she was so open to talk about her kinks and like do that and share her not safe for work. And
like, we want these like trans adults to be the ones like talking to young kids and helping them through their transition or whatever. But yeah, like, it's just bizarre. Like, these people are not safe for like younger people to be around. How are you supposed to know which ones are going to turn out to be complete freaks? I don't know. But if it's going to get to the point where just kids won't be able to be around these kinds of people, and that's what's going to happen, because we keep turning out to be complete weird freaks.
A lot of the not safe for work she did share with me around that time was like Binding of Isaac characters, and the stuff she still draws is Binding of Isaac characters. And if you know what Binding of Isaac is, it's about like dead babies.
Yeah,
and
little
kids.
children.
Yeah.
When did you find out about Fawn's Twitter and her sort of predilection towards being very open with a sexual attraction?
They mentioned Binding of Isaac. That game's full of like babies and stuff, I think. I can't remember. I think he explains anyway.
Towards minors.
When you made your stream about it, actually, I didn't know those tweets existed.
Oh, okay.
I followed her on Twitter, but like after a while when I made a Twitter, but I didn't know those ones existed. And when I realized it matched up around the time that I met her and started talking to her and interacted with her, it made me really uncomfortable knowing that she was sending me all that stuff. And
yeah, this like porn sick shit it's got to stop somehow. I don't know. We have to find a way.
Talking about all that stuff while actively jerking it to Shotokan.
I don't want to press you too much more on that, but do you think that there's a direct relationship between their maybe not necessarily Demon Mom as well, but certainly Fawn, their relationship with you and these tweets that they were making? Do you think that there's possibly a direct connection, because they're almost doing this exactly the same time?
I really don't want to believe that. I really don't want to think that she did that and thought like that, but there is a chance, and I really don't like that there is a chance that that's a possibility. I mentally don't want to entertain that, because I've known her and talked to her and like have heard like sad fucked up shit from her, and her like we've had one-to-one conversations about our existences and all of the fucked up shit in our lives, et cetera, et cetera. But like I guess because of how I viewed her as a friend, in quotations, because of our very fucked up relationship, it hurts me to know that that's a chance. And
This
that's
is
a very real possibility.
This is something I've heard a few times from people that.
Hold up a sec. We got another one. It's Demon Mama versus Descrub King. Again, it's a good way in. I can't remember exactly what this one was about, but she spent the whole time making him out to be an incel.
It does kind of play into that sort of incel-y kind of bullshit.
Look, she said it immediately. Great. I love it when that happens.
Doesn't it? That you would just think that, oh, I'm just going to tune out while I'm talking to this woman. We're talking about gender issues. I'm just going to, I tuned out when you did this. Haha, smuckle, smuckle, smuckle. And then I'm going to interrupt you when it's your turn. Yeah, that's a little disrespectful, my dude. So, for sure, we can keep memeing like this, but let's be honest. Your argument is more or less that men have no culpability in any of this. You regularly were very, very, very liberal with your, you were very, I'm still talking. You were very, very liberal with your use of the term titty streamer, and then you backed off like 6 different times, backpedaling on what a titty streamer is. I'm not going to lie. What it sounds
Isn't that like language policing?
like to me is like you have a problem with women and you think that it's like the women's place to assuage the egos of men so that men won't stalk and rape them, which is what.
God, how many times have you heard someone like make these kind of arguments? Like you talk about something and it's like, well, I think it's pretty obvious to me that you have a problem with women. It's like, Jesus Christ, we've exchanged like 3 tweets. You know me apparently. Okay.
What actually happens in our society at a ridiculously shocking rate, and you're unwilling to say, damn, maybe there's a problem with our patriarchal male-driven society that men need to address. Maybe if men treated each other with a little bit more kindness, maybe if men didn't taught each other and took the time to teach each other that, hey,
Ass wage, super, ass wage. I don't know what you assuage, assuage. Oh, is that what you're trying to? Oh, fair enough. Super. I hope you're doing well.
you can't just assume that a woman, if a woman says you're cute, that you can therefore fuck that woman. Maybe that would actually solve some of our problems. Maybe if we started breaking down patriarchy.
Oh, I guess this is all about like when a man flirts with a woman, it doesn't usually mean a huge amount to the woman because they probably get it all the time. When a woman flirts with a man, they're more likely to take it seriously because it just doesn't happen as much. I'm guessing that's what this conversation was. Yeah, she probably did. A thing.
Among the people who benefit the most from patriarchy, we could actually make some progress. But you wouldn't even be willing. You weren't even willing to go halfway there. In fact, you said that most of this is on women. And so I feel like at this point, your hand has been played. You played your hand a while ago when you were unwilling to even consider the fact that maybe men have a pretty big part to play in this as well, especially considering that in the big picture, women bear the brunt of the blowback of all of this.
Okay, I got a few problems with what you said. One, the only reason I used the word titty streamer is because you did. So it's pretty interesting that all of a sudden I'm the one being...
Ooh, Diet Coke, nasty. I feel like women imagine men know they like them and are sending signals, and the man has no idea most of the time. Maybe, I don't know. Just listen, I've been a man. I've been, I didn't come out as trans until I was like 25. I've had some of that experience. Like... I was extremely oblivious, but I'm like very autistic, so I don't know. There's definitely a few things I can think of, like where someone was probably flirting with me and was like interested in me, and I wasn't reciprocating because I didn't really understand what was going on, kind of. I think when I was younger, I'd have like regretted that kind of thing, whereas nowadays it's like it's fine. But yeah.
Liberal with the usage of it when I only used it after you did, and even when I did, I think I immediately clarified that what I meant was people who were exploitative in their behavior. So I just like to clear that.
Like, I don't know which is true, but like, she's so fucking like, oh god, I don't even know. Let's keep watching the video. You get the impression. Like, there's gonna be more anyway because I've got a few more queued up. Anyway,
that are leaving Demon Mama's.
Your autism adjacent, you like to say? Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not like massively autistic, but I don't know. I think I was like developmentally delayed or something. When I was 18, I probably had a mental age of about 14. And I think it's the last 5, maybe slightly more years that a lot sped up at once for me, I guess. I don't know. I think I've caught up a lot in like a short space of time, hopefully. Could be wrong, obviously. But anyway, Demon Mama.
Community or even connected to it that they maybe witnessed something inappropriate, had an inappropriate experience, maybe felt some uncomfortable feelings and the sort of trauma relationships that were built between people and the sort of friendship that they didn't want to lose was something that they felt they had to put ahead of maybe, talking about how uncomfortable they were or talking about maybe ending a certain kind of behavior. Do you feel that that might have influenced decisions on your part to say like, hey, don't ever do that again, or I'm very weirded out by this, or anything like that?
I would definitely say so. I think that's probably why it took until hearing all of that stuff and seeing a friend of mine come on your stream. And shout out to Triptych.
Intellectually, I peaked at 4th grade, but emotionally, I'm more mature at 43. Yeah, fuck. I don't know what grades are in the UK. I used to be like a gifted child, and then that didn't really go anywhere, as you can probably tell. But I don't know. I think hopefully I've peaked much more recently. It's just taken a long time, hopefully.
For talking about the Demon Mama stuff, because I didn't know they left, and I knew they were in the middle of the shitstorm that was the Demon Mama mod team and that whole community being the fucking mess.
4th grade would be like either year 5 or year 6 in the UK then. Year 5 is 9 to 10, and year 6 is 10 to 11. Oh, so like year 5, okay. And then after year 6, we go into secondary school.
That it was, and it was a mess when I moderated it, and I can't even imagine how bad it was now with how culty it got in there.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get to that and some of your work history here in a second. I think I just have one immediate question, and then we could finish up the timeline. There's just one other screenshot you sent me. I'm going to read it to you, and then I just want to get some of your impressions on it. You guys were talking about some other stuff that might feed his ego, but it's really funny. This is from July 8th, 2021, about a month or a year after some of those previous ones. You wrote, it'll feed the horny minds, including mine. By the way, if you're worried about NSFW stuff, I'm 18, so we vibing, cuz. And Demon Mama said, I'm not anymore, smiley face. You've always been respectful about that. That's a very curious thing for an adult to say.
Oh, lovely. Oh, we're getting into this. Oh, yeah. Okay, so...
if you're worried about NSFW stuff, I'm 18, so we vibing. I'm not anymore. You gotta wonder. Fuck, what am I trying to say? You hear these things all the time about people that like wait for someone to turn 16 or 18. I knew someone, I used to work with someone that for a while, he was 19 and he was seeing some girl that was 15 and like waiting for her to turn 16 so he'd fuck her. It's like, it grosses me the fuck out. I don't like that kind of shit. I'm just getting my cam back, I forgot. Kindergarten, then first. Yeah, we have the same kind of thing. Yeah, fair enough.
When I forget when this happened, but I was probably, I think maybe 15, 16. Whenever she moved to Seattle or Washington or wherever the hell she is, I was told not to send Not Safe for Work to her anymore because the state and wherever she was moving to, that would be a huge no-no.
But not because you were a legal minor.
Yeah, no. Before that point, it was free game.
And so were these things that...
Yeah, wasps are nuts. I used to have to deal with like wasp nests sometimes when I did property maintenance for a few years. I didn't go out and physically do it myself. I told other people to. Yeah, it was never fun. They don't like your export A's. I don't know what they are, but fair enough.
Did she not just welcomed, but like asked for? Was there any aspect of like ordering, so to say?
I wouldn't say that. It was very like just casual. Like I was just one of the what's it called? It's one of the boys. Just we're chilling. We're sending each other our art and the stuff we like, and just kept going until that point. And it did stop.
Right. Fair enough. Oh, my mic's going again. Is it like going? Is it like going really quiet for no reason? It sounded really muffled earlier, and it's starting to do it again. I don't know. All this stuff is like cobbled together.
For a good bit, I think it stopped for a good bit on my old account, because I remember her being very like thankful about it at least once, and before the screenshot that I sent you. But I guess that didn't last very long.
And if I have another one up here. I think this maybe you sent a picture of buttholes to Demon Mama, and this is November 27th, 2019. She said, of course, it's called Draw Pile. It's supposed to get wild. How are you? Good dude. Drawing buttholes for the first time. She says, good anatomy practice. And then you guys kind of start a conversation. So this is, you've sent pornography to an adult who is at least...
I was like 16 or 17 at that point. I would have been 17.
We did...
This is like grooming as fuck. I don't care. I don't know that I think Demon Mama is like a literal pedophile based on this, but like she's at least like groomed this person. Like, oh my God.
So she's going to be about 29, 30 years old. There's no judgments to you. I think that if a minor sent me a not safe for work drawing, I would probably just say, don't do that anymore. But this was a pattern of stuff. How does it make you feel, now that you're a bit older?
Yeah, I don't understand this drive to like normalize sex stuff around kids. Like, I try and argue with about that kind of thing. The people that like do weird shit at Pride, like there'll be someone in their underpants like twerking and looking kids in the eye while they do it. Like, I think it was Minnesota someone did that at. Like, I don't know why any of that is like necessary. I don't know why kids need to see that. I feel like they see that one time at a Pride parade and then a year or two later some nonce like gets his junk out and is like dancing for them and it's friendly like Pride. Like, no, it's not. Fuck that. I don't know. Maybe that's like paranoid as shit, but yeah, true. One day all this will be like a weird like artifact. Like someone else will probably be grooming the kids instead of us, but hey.
Older, somebody with that kind of age difference, exchanging kind of freewheel exchanging pornographic material with a minor.
It really fucks me up now. Because like if I was in that, I'm thinking like of myself if I was in that position now as an adult, like talking to like a minor, that's fucking gross.
Yeah.
That fucks me up bad. Like thinking like I don't know what the thought process that makes this okay is, but
you can't empathize with a disgusting groomer freak. That's probably a good thing. I can't either. Like, why the fuck you'd want to do that? I don't know. My first Pride, I was 12. I went with my dad to Gork because it was the same day as Hempfest in Boston. Fair enough, yeah. Probably a bit trippy in that case, Jesus.
I can't find it.
Yes.
In my noggin. It just should be no. And the fact that I broke the rule that she set and the fact that she was just fine with it and didn't reprimand me or anything, that is rather telling.
Oh wait, so Demon Mama told him not to send a porn for a bit and he did anyway. And it was fine, I guess. Keep in mind, by the way, that she knows it's wrong because she was the one that told him. Okay, great.
I think also there being a rule that
is also telling.
Yeah, it's sort of establishing the nature of that interaction seems, that it in my mind, I'm going to use this word.
Oh my God, you destroyed some gay people's dogging spot. Is that what happened? Jesus Christ.
Don't have to agree with me, but this does strike me as being at least a touch predatory. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but
yeah, I will.
Fair. Listen, I don't know that I'd go that far, but like I can't judge someone too much. You know what I mean?
A little agree on that one. It is a little fucky in that regard.
I'm going to try to move the conversation away from this, at least for a little bit. If you want to return to it later, that's absolutely okay. But it's actually it's a bit much even for me. I have to assume it's probably a little bit for you.
It is.
That's understandable.
It's a lot.
Moving into the Demon Mama community, which you ended up being integrated into and eventually working for by your own statements to me, you started drawing thumbnails for her and also acting as a moderator. Can you tell me how that relationship evolved to that point?
I was brought on as a mod really, really early on, as I think just because I was a friend of hers and she needed mods. And
Could I ask a bit of at a time point?
When did she start her channel? Probably I would probably say just start of her channel. I don't know the exact date, but like really extreme.
If I remember rightly, Demon Mama started around 2020 or something.
Extremely early on.
It's like a 2016, 2017.
Oh, okay. Way sooner.
Ish. I think I'm supposing. Sorry. If you want to look it up, feel free.
Yeah, I will look it up. 4 years ago. Let's see. So 2020. So about I would say about mid 2020 to like late 2020. I started modding for her. And
so he thinks it was around 2020 as well. Okay, fair enough.
Being active in her community.
Gotcha.
And on the mod end, it was it's interesting. The moment
Which one's Dust? Sorry.
that a bunch of like the political frogs all really swarmed in from all the lefty side, in quotations. The mod team kind of had its first implosion. The head mod at the time and thumbnail artist Gina.
Oh yeah, that's another point. Underage moderators. Don't know why people insist on those. That was the same as Chris Tyson. Morning, the concrete O. How you doing?
Kind of had a meltdown, and it was a couple of things leading up to it, but the entire, I forget if she was going to delete something important or start banning mods at random because she had the power.
So we're talking about Demon Mama, a streamer who talks about politics and trans rights and stuff. She had this minor that her and her partners and this kid were like exchanging like drawn porn and shit like that. Bunch of other stuff. I guess my point, because I've got some clips as well, is the fact that this person has been a degenerate piece of shit for years, and suddenly now we're all we're all saying something about it, you know. PCP. I've never done PCP. I've tried some stuff, but yeah, kind of. I don't know. So far, I don't think she's like an out and out pedophile, but it's like pretty groomery, and unfortunately, in trans circles, that's not uncommon, as we recently found out with Chris Tyson. So
power to, but we had a full lockdown of the mod chat, and we had to cycle out the thumbnail artist, the head mod, and I think we had to do like a big old talk with all of the mods, and that was like barely when she was like.
Oh yeah, I'm only familiar with them in the sense that I've watched like debates and stuff for a good 3 or 4 years. I mean, obviously that's tapered off recently, like the last couple of years, because she doesn't do as many, and if she does, I just haven't watched them. The odd piece of look at the sex offense rates in American male prisoners and trans ones. I'll have to. I'm willing to bet that a lot of trans people get locked up for like sexual crimes and stuff. Like, I don't know if the transition thing, maybe it's to do with the AGP thing, like whether it awakens some weird sex shit in some males. I don't know. I'm kind of very much the opposite. Like, as I started transitioning, my sex drive just kind of dropped off. So, yeah, I don't know. It's disgusting. And listen, if people are going to do it, then I'm going to call it out, because I don't want these kind of people around. I think this is terrible. Like, this is terrible representation. And people played like the kid glove shit with Demon Mama for so long, like pretending that she's some kind of legit fucking mouthpiece. And she's a complete fucking loser. She's a freak. She doesn't know anything about anything. Like, there's a couple of Destiny clips, because he used to kind of put the boot in a lot, and I don't know, everyone else just wanted to like wipe her ass, even though she's been a complete fucking jerk her whole time on YouTube.
Like a 1K, 2K subscriber. Like, she was really small at the time, so it was already kind of a mess at that point.
Were a lot of these people carryovers from the previous Discord you were in?
A couple of them were actually.
Fair enough. I appreciate that. I mean, I kind of tend to sit somewhere in the middle, honestly. But I don't know, like this degenerate shit, like it's been so normalized within our communities, and I just fucking hate that. Like, you know, we get called groomers constantly, and then every time I look round and then look round again, there's another fucking trans person that's been doing like weird groomer shit on the internet. It's like, we need to stop. There's going to be no like trans influencers left soon enough. Like, who the fuck else is there? You know?
I don't think they stayed for very long. I don't think I met Gayfesh as a mod in Demon Mama's community, so he wasn't in there. Who was? All the people that I can think of have either disassociated from Demon Mama entirely.
The rate of LGBT tolerance is going down. I think it's because of this. Yeah, I think this is a huge factor. I don't like the term like shoving it down our throats that people use, because it did used to feel like people used to say that a lot, but not very much. But what with like Pride Month and shit like that, I feel like it is actually generating backlash, because it's just kind of everywhere, like once a month, every month, you know. I don't see the point. I think we should just stick to the Pride festivals. And I think those Pride festivals should be run by people who aren't degenerate freaks that are fine with all kinds of weird shit in the parade where kids are going to be watching. You're either going to have to put them somewhere where kids aren't, or make it a family-friendly thing, which I think you can do. I think you probably can have a Pride festival that's suitable for kids. You just get rid of all the weird sex shit and focus on it being like about community and shit like that, you know. Like I'm sure it probably used to be, I don't know. At the moment in England, they're not too bad, like the Pride parades and stuff, but to me it kind of seems like it's probably only going to get worse because it's already getting really weird in the US and in Canada in some places. I've seen the San Francisco Pride, I saw the Toronto Pride. You know, there's a lot of weird shit that goes on. I'm just not down with some of it, you know. During the battle for same-sex marriage, everyone got on that side, and these orgs had nothing to do, just continue with it, justify their continued funding. Oh, yeah. What's the word? The concerns are getting like smaller and smaller, isn't it? Like, you know, gay marriage is quite a big, wide kind of subject that's very focused on like equality between gay and straight people. Whereas now it's about like getting puberty blockers to children. And I don't remember ever being down with that. And now suddenly that's what we're talking about. It's insane. But hey.
Really, or like have just kind of faded out into non-existence for doing whatever they're doing. So,
and the other thing is we still act like our rights are under attack in the same way as like they were in like the 80s and stuff. And I ask people like what all the weird radical shit that everyone's pulling in the last 4 years and all the weird like gender shit we're pushing, like non-binary and stuff. Again, I don't remember talking about that like ever until recently. Like, oh, what was I saying? Fuck, I've forgotten. Yeah, I'll ask people about it and I'll try and get some like answers. Like I either get screamed at or it's like I went in someone's chat on like Twitch because they were being a dickhead on like Twitter and they just got all like, just try reading some history. Oh, just look it up. It's embarrassing. None of these people know what they're talking about. Southern Poverty Law Center, ACLU. Yeah, of course. And then you've got like Stonewall and then I'm assuming WPATH was probably its own thing that has never ever been good, but I could be wrong there. I actually don't know too much about the history of a lot of these organizations, but whatever.
As far as I can remember, I think most of the new mods that were there were either friends of hers or just new people that came in from the community that she trusted eventually.
Mm-hmm. And that seems like it's pretty common that she keeps her friends close. It's a very tight circle.
Yeah, I would say so. God, what is it? I forget if there was. I know there was constant fighting in the mod chat. It seems pretty standard for lefty political things, but there was a lot of bickering and like arguing over just nonsense constantly with the mods. And there was more than a few times that the new head mod that we had and I think even Demon Mom had a couple.
Someone told me that hormones can prevent a reverse cranium hand shoulder size from becoming male. I don't know if that would be hormones or puberty blockers. I'm not sure. I've heard that puberty blockers can cause like something like you don't grow down there properly and like atrophy, you know. Yeah, it could, yeah. I don't know. I knew so many people that ran around saying all these puberty blockers and stuff, it's 100% reversible, which is not true. It depends on when you take them, how long you take them for, and depends on who you are to an extent. Like, there's always some people that are going to react to certain things that most people wouldn't, because that's just how it is. But yeah, I knew so many people running around fully reversible, based on their use for precocious puberty and not transition, which happens later than precocious puberty. Loss of IQ and bone problems as well. I don't know as much about the IQ thing. I guess I can see where the link might be. Bone problems, definitely. Like, if I don't take, bearing in mind I've been post-op for like a long time, like years and years now. If I don't take estrogen, I do develop the possibility of getting osteoporosis because like my bone density would reduce. So like, you have to be producing something, and I can see how like the, especially if they're not getting the dose right straight away, you know? Yeah, it's a huge experiment. I mean, in the UK, all our stuff is based on like one Dutch study. And then like we tried to recreate it and we didn't get the same effects. And then in America, they had another study that was like way more affirming, like in the opposite direction to us, you know? Like our study didn't find the psychological benefits to mental health. But yeah, I agree. It is a huge experiment. And that's why the cast review came out. But of course, we're propagandizing about the cast review. We've got all our best hack journalists like fucking Aaron Reed on the case, so Alejandro Caraballo, all those idiots.
A couple times had to go in and argue with some of the people that she had and drop some of the people that she had going, oh God, actually.
No evidence of cross-sex hormones having efficacy. Yeah, possibly not. I don't think it's very complicated, but I don't know how much it's improved like my mental health. But then I've got so much other stuff going on, so I don't know. The most I really feel out of it is I'm a bit more comfortable in my own skin, I guess, which isn't much, but I don't know.
There's an entire, what's it called, thing here I forgot about. I might have to inform you about that at another time.
It's all good.
That's something to get into potentially. But for this, sorry, I'm drawing a blank really bad right now.
No, it's okay. I sort of took you off the road. I was just giving you room to speak. We were going over the timeline, and right around 2020, I think it is, when the start of her channel, you became a mod. You started doing moderator activities. I'm going to assume standard message removal, bans, approvals, that kind of stuff, and making thumbnails, because Demon Mama was aware of the fact that you were an artist for reasons.
So when I started doing thumbnails, actually, not only did I do the thumbnails, her Drama Mama section.
I don't want to say this is like unrealistic for what Demon Mama looks like, because let's be honest, it's a very artistic kind of work. Oh, Dr. Money, yeah, I know a bit about him. I need to read more. When I get told to read history, I'm guessing that's not the kind of thing they mean, but I don't read what people tell me to. I read what I want to read, you know.
I did the animated intro for that as well. Funny story about that one. This one pisses me off as an artist.
Okay, hang on. We're speaking of generous.
Funny story about that one. This one pisses me off as an artist.
I think this is pretty generous. Enjoying my past debates, probably not looking for debates anymore. Jesus, this Demon Mama's channel, like 1K views. I thought she got a lot more viewership like 3 years ago. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up that much with Demon Mama, you know.
I made that in like 6 hours because she wanted it done before her next stream. So it looked like ass. And like it's okay. It's an animation, yada yada. It works for her stream or whatever. But I went back and took like multiple weeks out of my time while sick to make it better and nicer. And I sent it to the editing team at the time, and it was never used.
Oh, I hate that kind of shit. One of my friends, I used to produce music for one of my friends, and like I'd send them to him, and then like months later, he'd just suddenly release stuff. And I'm like listening to it again, like I could have fixed like so many things. Why don't you fucking tell me you were like releasing it? How to be trans, grow shoulder length hair, avoid voice training. Yeah, pretty much. And have an aversion to ever wearing makeup.
And, so that, on a personal note, that pisses me off.
Sorry. To clarify, by sick, this is right around the time that, or after the time that you contracted Lyme disease, which is something you're still living with now and is fairly serious.
Oof.
Yeah. June of, honestly, it would have been at the end of that year because of COVID. Yeah, at the end of that year, I got COVID and it triggered the Lyme disease.
Trans people don't want to be trans, they want to be the opposite sex. Usually, I mean, hey, I'd say that's true of me. Obviously, I know it's not possible. But like, I don't know, I think quite a lot of trans people do just want to be trans. I definitely know people that are not trans in any meaningful way. They just like call themselves trans because they want to be part of the community and they want the oppression and they want the clout, you know, because there is clout to be gained from having a trans identity, depending on where you go. If your circles are like right-wingers, then transitioning isn't going to get you clout. But in certain like left-wing circles, absolutely it will. And I know people that literally, usually women, like they'll just call themselves trans and go by he, him, and they, them pronouns. Always two of them. I don't know why. He, they, lesbians, whatever you call them. But they just look like women and they haven't changed anything from when they were women, you know? I don't know.
That I had dormant in my body since I was a little kid. And just a brief overview of my Lyme and all that. It causes me seizures, immense chronic body pain.
Oh, and then the other thing is being non-binary, which itself takes absolutely you don't have to change anything. You just call yourself whatever. And whatever it is, take on some pronouns, but you're non-binary and therefore you're trans, and then suddenly all you see is like fucking cis people on Trans Day of Visibility, and it's like, wow, okay, great. Passing is a myth anyway, unless you just haven't seen many trans people. I think some of them do genuinely pass. I don't know how well I do, but like, I don't know. Like, you work with what you've got, and ultimately, I don't really care that much anyway. Like, some people go after me for my looks because I'll say what I think about other people's looks, and that's fair enough, but hey.
I contracted SIBO, which is a small bacterial overgrowth, and I've vomited 185 pounds out of my body in the past year.
Blair White, I actually think looked nicer before like the hot dog lips and stuff like that. I think whenever I've seen a woman with like lips like that, it just reminds me of like hot dogs. Buck Angel, I mean, I'm not into men, so I can see why you'd find Buck Angel attractive, maybe.
That's
from that.
Pretty terrible. On top of the unfortunate revelation from my shit posting on YouTube.
So that's fun. But in during that time, it was just the seizures. And actually, no, the vomiting was also a factor during the later end of the work relationship. So I can get into that when that's timeline-wise applicable. For the timeline stuff, Demon Mama's thumbnail thing, I was only meant to do thumbnails. That's what I signed up for. That's what I was told I was going to do. I quickly learned that wasn't the case. I would be managing all of her titles, doing all the tagging for the video, making sure they get out on time. I even made all of the categories for her videos because she didn't have any, and I thought it would be useful.
So you're essentially running the channel. You had a login to her channel.
Yeah, I had a login. I had a full access to everything.
Which, for the record, none of my editors have on my channel. That's an extremely large amount of responsibility for someone who was at the time you were just 18, I think.
In 2020, I would have been like 16, 17.
16, 17 then. So you're a legal minor with running a YouTube channel for someone that's 13 years older than you, pushing into the being 30, if not into their 30s, and not getting a lot for it. Did you guys agree on a compensation schedule of some sort, or was this just, hey, we're friends, and because we're friends, you're going to do friend stuff, and maybe if you don't get it done, we're not going to be friends anymore?
We did have a payment system set up. I think it was like once, whenever YouTube, the payment went out, she would send out her pay for all of her team or whatever. I think it was once a month, on I think the 15th, whenever YouTube does its whatever payout, and she would collect all her funds and send it out. I could see the YouTube payout. I didn't know how much the Twitch was, but I know the Twitch was more because she talked about it a couple times, and I knew for a fact I could do math. I knew at least at the start. Okay, how do I preface this? At the start, it wasn't good pay, but it was understandable given her channel size, and I can understand paying bills, et cetera, et cetera. But
would you say it's something fair, and maybe you expected that it would increase as the channel that you were putting your labor in got bigger? Okay,
yeah, and as the labor increase grew on my end with doing the tags and titles and making sure they went out every other day. At this point, this is when I got like sick, like with Lyme. So I was like I was being pumped full of antibiotics and being horribly ill every day. And I would have to wake up I remember at 10:30 and just fucking hope and pray that I could figure out a thumbnail and title in 30 minutes so I can go back to bed and be horribly sick and sleep all day again.
And to kind of hammer it home, you're still a minor at the time. Were you in school as well?
Yeah. This one's a little hard to explain. I guess I was bullied out of high school and then did online school for a bit and speed run through that. And I was essentially in college at 16.
Okay.
So that's what I did. It is an interesting mess.
If you went through some bullying like that, did you think when you were going through that and then having to leave school, did you feel like alone and isolated? And did you ever share that with Demon Mama and her sort of circle?
Oh yeah, they knew about what happened to me with those people. Those the people that did all the fucked up shit to me, like tried to get into her community, and Demon Mama like banned them per my request. And like I told her all what happened to me with those people.
Mhm.
Like she knows all of it.
And you're safe now, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm safe now. Like I'm all good now.
But you were working for her and putting this entire YouTube thing together for anyone listening to this, if I don't end up cutting this chunk out. When I do my own uploads and write my titles in, it takes me about anywhere from 5 to 10-ish total minutes of doing a bunch of different little things. Was that about the amount?
Sorry, I was doing something else. Polly People, I remember. Fuck me. Oh, Blair White with the guns. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, Polly People. I need to look into her at some point. She was doing like the whole genocide thing. That was ridiculous. I'll go through that at some point because that's that was a good one.
Amount of time it probably took you per video just for the upload.
Do you think Brianna Wu sounds like Jeffrey Marsh, by the way?
Upload stuff, not to say anything less of you did all of the thumbnails and whatnot as well, correct?
Yeah. The hardest part for me were always the titles because I'm not a very good written person. I'm a visual person. That's how I struggle with my words enough as it is. So having to come up with titles for videos I have no information about. And I'd preface this as well. I never got any information about any of the videos that I was thumbnailing. Every single thumbnail I made for the most part was me just guessing what the hell was going on in those videos and like skipping through it a little bit.
I respect that. I am good with words. It's like one of my things, and titles are nightmarishly difficult for me as well. It's usually what takes me the longest. Obviously typing them in, not big, but trying to figure out a way to sell it in 100 words or less, or 100 characters or less, it can be a bit daunting. Especially if you actually, I was in the video. If you didn't watch it, obviously that's going to be a lot harder. And if you had to guess, what was your like overly monthly compensation sort of? If you had to guess how many hours and how much money you made, what would you say those figures were?
If I remember correctly, I would do 20 to 30 thumbnails and like all the titles and all that yada yada. And I would get at the start it was about like 200 to 250. But by the end of the year, it went down to like $80, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I remember Polly People doing the whole kind of... It was like someone talking in a falsetto, but really low. I couldn't even try to do like an impression. Like, bizarre. But yeah, I need to watch her at some point, because I do remember all of that shit. Like, I watched Chud Logic quite a lot, and I think he covered her. Possibly Destiny did. I pretty much... Occasionally I'll watch Destiny, occasionally I'll watch Chud Logic, and occasionally I'll watch Queeman, and that's about it at the moment. Brianna, yeah, was she a Republican at one point? I can't remember. I know she was in Gamergate because she literally mentions it every like sentence. Like with Brianna Wu, I agree with what she says about a lot of the trans rights stuff, but I think she's still got a lot of the problems that have carried over from the Gamergate feminist days, if that makes sense. The allegations, I think this one is to do with low pay. This guy was underage. He was sharing porn, like drawn porn and stuff, with Demon Mama and her partners. This seems to be about how his pay is not what it should be. Dead name thing. Oh, yeah. She was pretending not to be trans. I don't know. I zoomed out for a second and I've kind of forgotten what they're saying, but it's to do with like pay at the moment. Don't seem to be a huge amount of figures on here, you know.
That was
with no work slowdown on your part.
Yeah, no work slowdown on my part.
Gotcha. And this.
Well, this person was supposed to be getting paid for like work he was doing for Demon Mama, so yeah. But then it's Demon Mama. I doubt she was making a huge how much. You know, I doubt she was making all that much to begin with. But hey, you got to pay your workers. I mean, Demon Mama's supposed to be a leftist or something.
This is how many videos? I think you said you were doing 33 to 66 or some odd. I might be inflating those numbers.
A month, it would have been about like 20 to 30.
Okay.
But like overall, it would have been, I don't even know how many at this point.
So, with that in mind, obviously you watched my stream on, I was a little bit irate with Demon Mama holding on to information about another creator being abusive to people doing essentially.
This new information? Maybe. This video is a couple of days old, but I really don't like Demon Mama, so it's kind of a grandstanding moment for me. It's kind of a grave dancing moment. I'm very happy that this shitty fucking leftist cabal of shitty fucking streamers is coming apart, and that Keffels is gone, that Demon Mama's fucking on her way out, Xanderhal's on his way out. Vorsh is always going to have the reputation he has, and he's made it quite clear he doesn't give a fuck about any of these people that used to stick up for him. Marx loved the N-word. Hey, listen, that's stuff I'd have to look into. I don't know. I need to get into like the Marxism stuff a bit more, because it's another thing that's like fucking pervasive in trans communities. It seems very weird that so many of us are like fucking out and out Marxists. So I know.
Actually, the exact same work that you were doing. Did you find it maybe a touch hypocritical that she?
Oh, I found it so fucking ironic for so long. It's been a joke in my fucking friend group that whenever she brings up AI art and like how to treat artists, and it's like, oh, what about Glooby?
If you had to guess,
she argued with Vorsh. She's argued with loads of people. I can show you another example. It's probably about you. This was there was a debate title that she lost to Density over here. Is my camera off? Yeah, it is. There's Density. And there was an hour and a half of her and someone called Vadim, I think his name was Creationist Cat for a while, trying to argue that these votes should be overturned or something. Do I do other creative stuff? Yeah, I make music. Hold on one sec. I can show you my page. I make music mostly. That's gonna play again, just to warn you. So I made this album. It's my partner's artwork. You can look all this up on Spotify as well. I release stuff occasionally. I used to do gigs and stuff. We're kind of holding back on that for a while. I'll do more eventually, but at the moment it's just not really what I'm focusing on. It's very difficult to get anywhere in music. But yeah, I made this whole thing. Came out a year ago. It was mostly about mental health stuff. I'm writing more about other subjects, but yeah, indie rock, I guess, but like experimental, kind of a bit Radiohead mid-period-y, but with my kind of vocals on it, not Tom York. It gets a bit more like aggressive at points, but mostly like indie rock.
Oh, shouldn't he have looked at everybody's like second place vote then or something? Oh no, I should just log off right now. It's like, go, good night.
Because I'm putting 100%.
Okay, apparently I'm.
You just have it solved that way. Follow it up. Easy.
I mean, sure, if that's what you want. I mean,
would you agree?
So she came second in some debate that she just had with Destiny and some other people, and she's not happy about it. There's going to be a point where she's like, and yeah, I respected the results, and cool, yeah, like about 10 minutes in. You think it's going to end? There's another hour and 20 minutes of her not doing any of that.
Agree to that?
We're going to do it today?
That's tiny.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Well, not today.
Wait, I'm going to be honest, I like Destiny. I know other people don't, and that's fine. Yeah, I like him.
Not today? Dude, I did all the prep for today. I got my outfit for today.
Later on, she's going to go back on this when people want to do the revote, and then suddenly she's going to want to do it again. It's like she's so up and down with this shit. It's weird.
We got to do it today. Yeah, get Destiny back in here. What? He doesn't have anything else to do.
Never understood the appeal of Destiny. That's fair enough. Listen, I've stuck up for him recently in terms of like the Piers Morgan shit, because I was 100%. I thought he was right. And I don't know, I guess I've watched him for a decent while. I guess what I find is that the more you watch someone, the more kind of humanized they get, as long as you like them. But yeah, I don't know. I like what he's been doing. I think he's kind of really trying to hold like the Trumpers to account, because to me it's insane that he's like fucking running for office again after everything.
We have a second big one. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
He has to. He's a champion. If I make the decision.
Oh, does anyone remember Dylan Burns, by the way? This was Dylan Burns' thing. Like, I quite liked him for the most part, if I'm honest.
He pays you again.
Intellectually.
I mean, or he just doesn't. Ask him if he's here. Bring him in here now. We'll do it right now. We got all your viewers are here. You can send out an announcement. And I'll even raid back into you if you want. And you know it.
Really wants a rematch.
You know it, don't you, Dylan?
There's an
And if you're really truly
hang on,
maybe, but I just don't think it's good for right now.
Apparently, I've got a Destiny fan here saying that.
I
that
feel like
Destiny
I've
said to check
outpaced him
Discord.
intellectually.
oh yeah, he's got like the Lego head. I forget. There was one time he was talking to Xanderhal, and he called Xanderhal's chat like Dunderheads or something, and Xanderhal actually looked up Dunderhead thinking it might have been a slur. Do I know much of Hunter Avalone? He got shot at. He seems a bit of a dweeb. He was like debate burrowing people about his like shooting attempt and stuff, which I thought was a bit unwise. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I can see the appeal, but I've never been into Hunter Avalone myself. And he did that ADHD song, which was pretty great.
I'll check Discord. Well, look, I mean, I'm getting accusations that like maybe you were not being so. I mean, look, there's a lot of things going around.
I feel like I've outpaced him intellectually.
What did the facts?
Dylan is, I think, getting really stressed because a lot of people in Demon Max chat are super shitting on him. I think he's getting like really stressed out.
And everybody in your chat should, of course, give.
I feel like I've outpaced him intellectually.
That'd be fantastic. But at the same time, it's interesting. You tried to draw some comparisons to Donald Trump. Donald Trump claimed
So what, 10 minutes in, really not too happy. Ranked choice vote.
But I don't know if you need to make that clear to the judges though, but like that's personally how I would rule it. But
a dotard. I don't remember that.
You can be here for the.
I don't know if Destiny would want to be added. I mean, if he wants to be added, he can DM me.
I mean, I don't know. He might be watching now.
Can you see her like vibrating? This is almost half an hour in, and she's still like going on and on about this fucking debate thing that she just lost. Insane. It goes on for like an hour and a half.
Oh, he can say that, but we have video evidence. Again, Destiny says all kinds of things that are not true about me. He could say that I bitched about it or whatever, but I think I was very reasonable here. He was very reasonable and even-handed.
Yep, she's been very reasonable and even-handed. There's another hour of this, by the way, where she still won't accept it, but she's not whining. Anyway, I recommend watching that video. She's absolutely fucking unhinged, as per usual.
I've seen your
What is it I don't like about Demon Mama? I hate the way that she debates. She doesn't really debate. She kind of rambles off on stuff. She seems to be more interested in like winding people up. And then when they start snapping at her, turning it back round on them, which is a thing that I see over and over with trans people. Like they're the biggest fucking bullies in the fucking world. But they're doing that so that they can get reaction from you so that then they can then start playing the victim. I don't think Demon Mama really knows anything about anything. Her ideology is completely unintelligible. I don't really know what she's about or what she actually thinks. She goes off on things like taxation is theft and shit like that. I think she's absolutely appalling representation for trans people. And she's a bit of a fucking groomer, according to this video. So yeah, personally, I've got no shortage of things. And the thing is, like, she's been given like this kind of legitimacy, which I don't think she ever has done anything to deserve. It's like, because she's one of the only trans people out there that used to debate people. It's like people would play kid gloves with her and it was pathetic. Like the only person that I saw really holding her feet to the fire was like Destiny. And then she'd just piss off all these different people like the Scrub King and like Vegan Gains and like Hans. I think we've got, is this Hans? I think, no, we showed Hans already. Yeah, absolutely insane. But yeah, I do not like Demon Mama. I think that anyone who's been giving money to her is actively supporting like trans rights going backwards, because that's all someone like her can do. She's not good for anything. She should log off the internet and get a job at like McDonald's or something.
You guys had a friend put together a spreadsheet here with, I'm assuming, I think it's the last like 3-ish months of work. But how much do you think you've probably been jilted or shorted here?
Overall, probably.
Demon Mama has, I think, about 20k subscribers, something like that. Oh, and apparently she hasn't been paying this guy, so I guess that's another thing. Demon Mama, let's find out. I've got another hour or so. I just need to try and finish today. And let me just check where we are in the video, actually, now I think about it. Oh my god. I don't know how to use tabs. I get so confused. Yeah, I forget which video there was. There was one with her weird fucking partner, like, stroking her as she, like, sat there talking about nothing. Shut up. 29.3k subscribers. So there you go. Demon Mama. I mean, for a trans person, she's quite big, but every single trans person around here seems to be outing themselves as groomers or scammers or fucking liars or whatever the fuck. There's barely any good ones, so...
I don't even know, hundreds. That brings me to my favorite part about the work thing. Was she told me that financially, I think when I sent the spreadsheet into her thing, and it was like, hey, the pay is.
I'll be honest, she's not got a huge amount of subscribers, but the fact that she like lives off this shit, it's like fucked, you know. Disgusting. People like that, the fact that they can make like money in these spaces and like support themselves off of just other people's money, like potentially like trans people who don't have a huge amount themselves, and then for the privilege completely fill these trans people's heads with shit, you know. It's, to me, it's fucking insidious as fuck, and I've been very bothered by this for years and years now.
Deficit is like fucked here. I think I have this. I don't know if I sent you the screenshot, but I have a screenshot of her saying that the pay, that the channel is just not doing well and it's struggling, and et cetera, et cetera. She is trying her best, yada yada. But then I see a tweet from her at the end of the year saying that she went and got a $5,000 custom tongue split from somebody and flew out and went into her Trippie Redd concert.
Mm-hmm.
So
and,
in the same token,
she was bragging about that on by the time you...
I'm sorry, I find that fucking vile. I know someone who got that, who fucking scammed me out of 70 quid, by the way. If you're watching this, fucking Hex Fairy Dance, is that still your name? You're a piece of shit, you owe me £70. Anyway.
You finally split? I'm sorry, I didn't hammer that specifically home. When did you finally...
Leading people, vulnerable people down a path of self-destruction. Exactly, yeah. I think trans people and like leftists do a similar thing to what Steve Bannon was doing with, you know, 15-year-old COD kids, but with queer people who've yet to really find their identity on the internet.
Get to a point where you went, I've not been paid in months. I don't think I can continue on with this.
Like, I don't know exact. I think it would have been mid 2021 to late 2021 where I was so sick. I was just like, I physically cannot do this anymore. Mm-hmm. I think it was a physical issue at that point. Cause like I know the pay was low and shitty, but I was poor and needed the money.
You're a kid who would do slip and fall scams, had epilepsy and split his own tongue. What, like by accident, or did he like do it himself, like deliberately, you know? It's gross. I can't imagine. Listen, if you've had your tongue split and you're out there and you're watching this, like, no hate. I don't want to see fucking Demon Mama's tongue though. It's disgusting.
Anyway, so it's like, fuck it. I needed it. But once my physical was so ass, it just became a matter of I can't do this anymore. It's not worth even the bit of money I'm getting.
And how receptive was she to your issue?
Oh, I see. Was it part of one of those scams? And I guess he was like, oh, I might as well keep it. I look like a snake. Except they don't look like snakes. They look like you take a lily pad or something and like cut a bit out of it. It just kind of looks like that. Ah, I see. Yeah, I get you.
About working conditions, expectations, pay, and the like.
I will say
I know I'm pausing a lot. I do apologize. I like the ones where people kind of dive out in front of people's cars, but they're like stopping. So like half the time they stop and then the person just falls in front of the car. I find those ones funny.
When I did tell her that I was sick, she was like, I understand. We'll try to accommodate. That may have only applied like 3 or 4 times. Whenever if you notice in my thumbnail, like my era of thumbnails, there's ones that aren't like the little character or whatever. Mm-hmm. Those are the days that I'm so sick I physically cannot do it. Like those are the only days that it's not mine.
So you're like working yourself to the bone for, I'm seeing some of the compensation here is basically like roughly $2.80 a video at the absolute worst. And at the best, in the spreadsheet you shared with me, 22 videos in a month for $260, you have it out at about $11.82 for a thumbnail, doing all of these uploads, writing titles, and basically quite literally turning her content into money, because that's what gets changed over into ad revenue are these videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you feel? Oh, I'm sorry. Please.
Oh no, sorry. I was just making noise.
It's all good. Did you feel that there was a true and honest and open line of communication to air your grievances as a basically employee of Demon Mama?
Not really. I felt like I could talk to her, but I feel like and I did, and still kind of do feel like there was always like a wall of just, it doesn't matter what I say at this point.
So you could always have a nice conversation with her, but criticism would be something that was not met with open arms, so to say. Maybe not necessarily hostility, but you don't.
Yeah, I didn't. Negative conversations with her were not something I wanted to have, because it felt like when I did bring up the pay, it felt like I was being put, like I was wrong and I should feel bad for it. Even though every person I've talked to about it has told me I was wronged and yada yada about it. So it's still confusing for me, because I still feel like I'm in the wrong. Like
you're not.
How to follow the stream as I choose you because you're amazing. Let's go. Thank you, Ash Raven.
I can actually step away from journalism for ethically speaking. That's wage theft. If you had an agreed upon amount, or if you were being taken advantage of and not being fully paid, you are fully justified in feeling wronged about that. Don't let anyone take that away from you at all. That's if this was kind of any other community, that would be maybe less of an important issue. But this is all leftism and workers' rights.
Yeah, I mean, none of these leftists. I don't know if recently a lot of the leftism stuff has become way more individualist, to the point where quite a few of the core tenets just seem to not matter anymore. But I don't know, I think there's further research needed on that. But it is interesting how often these people end up getting caught up in grooming scandals, pay scandals. It's always the same shit. Humans are quite predictable, I guess. I guess you can see the avenues where people get greedy. And it's usually in filling people's heads with shit and taking their money. So that's nice. It's nice that trans people are just as capable of doing that shit as anyone else, if not more so.
And stuff. And so, I've seen Demon Mama talk, I guess to some degree, about that kind of stuff. Obviously, she's adjacent to Vosh and that whole kind of crew. But do you think, as a person that was kind of within those circles, that she practices what she preaches when it comes to, treating workers fairly?
I don't think so.
To be fair, Demon Mama's ideology is so completely unintelligible that I don't even know how she feels about workers and shit. She seems to be one of those anarchists. I don't know if she even thinks there should be workers. She seems to think that kids should just do what the fuck they want and not go to school, which I don't think is usually the best way to raise healthy, good, productive members of society. But she doesn't want that to be society, probably. So fucking who knows?
It's what makes it more interesting to me is she knew how sick I was. I was very open about the seizures and the vomiting and all that stuff to her, and she wouldn't check in. She wouldn't, unless I came running hey, I can't upload this, I'm really fucking sick. Maybe I'd get
Oh, the bathtub estrogen and shit like that, and then even Vosh was arguing with her. Jesus Christ. This is the thing. Just every time I hear her talk, it's people listen to this. This might be the first trans person they've come across, and it's what the fuck is going on here? I don't know.
a response sometimes. And if I did, it would be hours later, either from her or from somebody in the editor chat being yeah.
She seems to think that people want to do an awful lot of things that people really don't want to do, organize their own fucking logistics and transport for things and shit like that,
Okay, I got it now. And then the video would just sit there for a couple hours because it would just be me.
And
I
you
was
were
the only one there.
Still doing moderator work as well during some of this?
Yes. During the first bit of it, I know I eventually stopped doing mod stuff because it was just too much, and the mods were getting on my nerves and being overwhelming and obnoxious. So I just didn't want to deal with that anymore.
Karen Davis. I might have heard of her. Is she black? I can't remember. I see some people around here and I check them out occasionally. I don't watch too much YouTube though.
So I just stepped aside from that.
And how did you, because obviously this is not anywhere near enough to approach living on, how
Okay, I think I know who you mean. I might have seen The Odd Thing. I don't remember too well. I need to look at more other people's content. It's something I kind of shy away from because I don't want to just watch someone else and then feel like I'm saying the same kind of shit. I don't know, but yeah, I need to check more people out for sure.
How were you supporting yourself to live outside of working alongside Demon Mama?
Really trying to get any kind of commission job I could. Mostly living through my family to support my meds and everything like that, because it is expensive to manage Lyme disease and treat it, let alone be in a spot where you're stable. And at that point,
God, you've got Lyme disease and your employer is Demon Mama. Fuck me, that's not a situation anyone wants to be in.
Didn't really know what was going on with the Lyme and what meds worked, so it was a constant battle of
fair enough.
Expensive medicine and trying to find work to support that medicine and feed myself. And I will mention this as well. There were more than a few times I had to ask her for money to buy myself food because I could not afford it.
Money that she...
I think he said he still has problems with it, so I guess so, yeah. And it sounds like a rough situation. Like, imagine dealing with that, and then you've got fucking Demon Mama who's the one paying you. Like, Jesus Christ.
Should have paid you.
Yeah, should have paid me. That you should have paid me in the first place.
Yeah. So at this time, your support structure is basically your natural family that you have. Did you have friends outside of this, or was it pretty much just kind of like your social circle is this kind of internet crew of people that are in and around Demon Mama?
Yeah, it would have been just the internet people. All of the IRL interaction I had was really shattered off from the bad group of people I interacted with before. Like, I met some really good people from Demon Mama. I have some really good friends.
I know what you mean. I do sometimes wonder if actually this is how, because it seems like we all fucking hate each other when if you just go outside and look around, the fact that any of this exists at all is like such an incredible coincidence and series of like further coincidences that it's like, I don't know how people have turned out like this. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know, but hey, I've been dragged into it myself by my own volition, so...
From that place, and I still do. I met my partner there, and it's awful because a part of me is like I don't want to change what happened because I technically I don't owe her anything, but like the interactions that I've had there have led me to the place where I am now with the people that I have now, and I'm thankful for the people I have now, but not for her. She sucks.
Do you think some of your negative feelings tied up around talking about this, about discussing ways that I think it would be hard-pressed for me to find a person that would say you weren't wronged, both in the pseudo-sexual relationship you had with her circle as a child, and also the very, very...
Hey, the world is crazy, and if more of these people spent more time thinking about that, I don't know, maybe they'd be... I definitely think there's a lot of trans people out there that if they stopped obsessing over every tiny thing that happens and spend more time with their nearest and dearest, or... you know, exploring the world and all its beauty, maybe we'd have more of a chance. I don't know. I've gone out there, I've met like herds of deer and stuff, and it was lovely. And I come home and it's like, oh, which trans person has been grooming minors in their Discord this time? It's great. I know what I'd prefer to be doing, but you have to also like earn money and shit, so...
exploitative work relationship you had with her. Did you feel even ever feel that, you know, that might be taken away from you, or that your negative feelings towards this might be that Demon Mama or people close to her might try to essentially destroy your relationships that you have in retaliation for talking about these things?
I was, and I'm still very actively worried about what this is going to.
The title of this video is Abuse, Exploitation, and Child Endangerment, : Demon Mama's Secrets Exposed. This is by someone called Westside Tyler.
To do, and what it would have done then, especially then with the people I knew, because like all of my friends then were really into Demon Mama's like whole thing, and we all eventually left for our own reasons because everyone got sick of the treatment there and how things were ran, et cetera, et cetera.
God, I'm just trying to imagine being like an actual Demon Mama fan, as in like actually listening to her. And not only not thinking, wow, this person doesn't know shit about anything and is just making all this shit up, but like actually enjoying it. Like I just can't, like even at 2 times speed, she is difficult for me to listen to.
But I was worried about how this would affect a lot of things with
Oh, that's my title. No, this one is well, I said it.
people that I've known from there. And good to know that everyone that I do talk to from there all has the same consensus about this. Thank God. But yeah, I was worried about how this would affect things with people I knew, and the person I was actually worried about that I didn't know left a year ago at this point was Triptych. They were a big mod in Demon Mama's community. I know they were very outspoken about how they felt, and I'm glad that continued with the bullshit Demon Mama was, and her mods are probably pulling then, and probably why they dipped. I should say.
Would you say if there's someone else that feels this way, not like everybody has to turn their back on Demon Mama, not be her friend or anything like that. I'm not making that argument, but for anybody that feels scared of walking away from that group.
I'll make that argument. You should probably question your life decisions if you're hanging around with this person. No offense. Especially if you're a minor and you've been sending her porn.
Because they're going to like lose everything, or they have feelings that are like that they maybe couldn't quite put their hands on.
It doesn't really matter if people care or not. Like, this is one of many disgusting people in the trans community that has gone out there and put herself out there and is a fucking grooming piece of shit. So, yeah.
Do you think it's worth it to walk away if you're feeling that way? Do you feel good now that you've got this distance and this clarity on the situation?
I would definitely say so. Especially when I was working for her.
You know what? Like, in terms of like it being a guy that the allegations are against, I don't know if that's as true as it used to be. I think there's quite a lot of people out there that are making a huge point about that. And I think in terms of like feminism, some of that's like becoming less popular, especially with guys. I don't know. Like, I think it's bullshit. Like, you know, I've been a male that's been abused by females before. I get it, you know. Like, there's a stigma about it and all that shit. Yeah. Well, it works either way, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's more pushback against the idea that male victims don't matter as much than they used to be. And hopefully it carries on that way because, hey, I'm about equality, ultimately.
And my entire like existence was essentially was her. Like her, my friends were all associated with her. My job was her. My day-to-day was drawing her, thinking of things for her thing, yada yada yada. That I would have never have thought to do this. This would have destroyed every single opportunity I had, my source of income, all my friends. I at that point I thought I was fucked if I did this.
That's very reasonable.
But now with the people I have and everything like that, it is very scary, and I am actively shaking in my boots. But it was worth it. And I knew it was right when I felt relief telling my partner and then telling you, and knowing that this is out there or going to be, and it's just over. It's giving me like a bit of, I guess, just relief mentally and physically. Like a weight is off of my back, I guess, in a sense.
I don't want to push you to making a conclusion, but you described a situation a little while ago that would be pretty crazy. You know, you said you woke up, you know, you were sick, and your friend circle was Demon Mama, and your job was Demon Mama, and you drew her, and you talked about her, and you made things for her. To me, that sounds like almost a religious-y type thing. And I'm not going to push you, but would you say that there's an aspect of cultishness maybe in and around how her circle operates and kind of in what she maybe expects from people that are immediately around her?
Totally. It is such a cult of personality. If it wasn't then when I was there, it is so bad now. Like, oh my God. I can't even imagine how bad it is now. If I was like that then with all the people, how we all just talked about Demon Mama and her politics are so good. Oh, it's all Demon Mama, all Demon Mama, all Demon Mama.
God, a cult of personality around Demon Mama. Like, fuck me. You think like the cult of personality around Trump is like bizarre. Like, look at this shit. I can't empathize. I can empathize with most people, but I can't empathize with thinking that about fucking Demon Mama. Like, what the fuck? No, thank you. Disgusting.
I can't imagine what her chats are like now, where it's even more controlled and more like, what's it called? Withered out all of the non imps, I guess, in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we love to generalize. That's our thing.
I would definitely say it's very culty there. I've like checked in there once or twice to see like how much stuff has changed, and it just looks very, very one-dimensional in their thinking, I guess, is the way I'd put it. Very demon mama oriented.
Basically, literally on that same note, with the nervousness and stuff that you were feeling, have people been trying to reach out to you, or do you feel like there's been any pressure as you've been getting ready to come forward?
Funny you mentioned that. So about an hour ago, or a couple hours ago at this point, when I woke up, I got a friend request from Demon Mama, and I have a message from her on Twitter. I have not read this message. I've read like the first little preview bit of it, and I'm already really not looking forward to this. And I wanted to save that for this. So we're going to do that. Yippee!
Okay.
I'm going to struggle.
I'm ready when you are. If you would like to read it now, or if you want to continue the conversation before we do it, either's fine with me.
All right, so I want to go to mandatory schooling. I think this was Rose Wrist. She gets pretty funny with him. Like, she's like monologuing for like fucking ages, and he starts getting a bit kind of, you know, it'd be nice if I can talk occasionally too. I'm not me too, thank fuck for that. And like, it just gets ridiculous. Like, they start arguing because she doesn't like being cut off, even though she's rambling fucking constantly. But hey, let's have a look.
And these videos, these movies, these art pieces, these tutors, whatever, all these people can teach you the things that you need to do for what you're.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. Like, people want the world to be simple so that they can understand it. And then you start getting all these fucking single issue fallacies being thrown everywhere and all sorts of dumb shit.
Your goal is in life, for what you're trying to accomplish and what the problems are in your life. So I think that that is like sort of a I mean, someone in chat brings up autodidactic information acquisition. I know a lot of autodidacts. I know a lot of people who are self-taught. Like, I'm self-taught in a lot of ways. Like, I didn't finish college, and like so much, like my partner is like a completely self-taught artist. So there's a lot of things that you can, that people actually do just prefer sometimes to I mean, they often prefer to self-teach when they can, but the problem is access. So what I believe is that instead of having an approach where we have a regimented school that pushes this learning onto people, that we should try to find ways to make it accessible to people. We should like the public library is such an unbelievably valuable thing, and our libraries are completely neglected.
Don't you just feel like your brain cells, whenever she goes on these like fucking long ass tangents, it's so hard for me to listen to it. It's like my brain just leaking out of my ears.
Even in comparison to our education system. But do you see how this requires a fundamental change in our approach towards what education and learning is? And the reason why we don't see this, I think, we don't see government take action on this, is because the government is satisfied with, more or less, with some.
Oh, we need to change the entirety of how education works. I bet she has zero like actual examples of how she'd have it. I bet it's, you ask her, you know, directly, you get things like, well, there are lots of things we could do, you know, shit like that.
Some maybe tweaks here and there with the state of education. They're satisfied with the fact that it's fulfilling the economic needs. So I think the first material change we need to have is that people need to realize that, first of all, schooling and learning aren't the same thing, and secondly, that we should push towards.
God, she's like making me seasick. She's like bouncing up and down like so much. She does the. Can you see me doing it? I don't know. I'm not fat, so like it's probably harder to see. I don't know. She does that a lot.
Things that negate the need to force schooling onto people, to force certain types of learning and certain types of behaving onto people, and instead encourage them to learn on their own, to engage, to chase the things that they're interested in, to passionately learn to love learning. And I think that would make I think that there's an abundance of evidence that shows that people.
Yeah, he's going to start complaining at some point that this is feeling like more of an interview than a conversation, because he'll ask a question and she'll just ramble on for fucking minutes on end. See where it gets a bit more.
Listing them out to see if you had anything that beyond that I hadn't brought up, you could add them to the list.
Safe space. Oh, makes me vomit. I don't even know what a safe space is meant to mean. I don't even know what the word safe means half the time coming out of like fucking queer people's mouths. Jesus Christ. Like, I've had people say that they don't feel safe around me because I expressed an opinion, and it's like, what the fuck does that mean? Do you think I'm gonna like attack you? Like, Jesus Christ.
I don't remember 6 hours a day of education being on there.
Okay, so maybe well, here's the thing. First of all, 6 hours a day is a lot for a kid. I don't know if you've ever like hung out with a kid, but kids don't.
This is a woman, by the way.
Kids have a hard time sitting for that long. So maybe
of course, I'm not saying you're sitting.
Queer people doesn't mean anything either. Yeah, I agree. If I say it in a certain way that sounds a bit mocking, that's probably why.
Like a little wooden chair like this for 6 hours.
Well, that's what they
Obviously
do.
Not, right?
But that's what they do. That's what they do
understand,
everywhere,
but there's a
all over the world, in every single capitalist education system.
You can have, I understand that, but you can have a 6-hour like school day that is you're sitting in a wooden chair for 6 hours, fucking no breaks, 15 minutes, go and like force something down your throat to eat lunch and then go back and sit in the chair. Or you can have 6 hours of like varied education, intermittent, like go out to do like some form of physical activity or like playing, decent breaks enough for you to recalibrate your brain and thought about what you learned.
She does not like when someone else talks for this long. You can see her face. It reminds me of, I have a bunch of videos watching someone called Frida Wallace. I recommend looking some of them up. Frida, I will give her, is a lot more likable. And no, this is a MTF. This person is just a man, as far as I know. But yeah, like, yeah, Frida Wallace is the same kind of thing. Like, she doesn't seem to like other people talking a whole lot. So, like, you'll see, like, the facial movements and the constant, like, you know, chipping in a bit because she's primed to go, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. Frida is at least a little bit more entertaining and a bit more likable than Demon Mama. I feel like I could actually handle having a conversation with Frida, and we might even get along. Someone like Demon Mama, I would really struggle.
Previously, so there's not learning back to back to back to back.
Okay.
Opportunities for you to socialize with your fellow kids so that you build social bonds up to. So you see,
but that's a cool sales.
She's not even listening, really. Child Logic is great. I like Child Logic a lot.
Pitch. That's a really cool sales pitch. I can do one too.
Okay, excellent.
What if you can have a system whereby kids play some educational games in the morning and then the rest of their day is free for them to go learn with their friends, to go socialize, to meet.
Go learn with their friends, aka all stand on a street corner asking passers-by if they get served for cigarettes. Great idea, Demon Mama.
To meet other people, to go do other things. You can.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I used to find it like too transphobic, and I just don't. I don't really have time at the moment. Like, but yeah, I've used that site before.
You can have them make. We already know that kids can learn way faster outside of school. That it's actually, you know, quite inefficient.
How is she like? How would you even begin to like? What's the word I'm looking for? Like, justify that statement. We all know that kids can learn faster out of school. What does that even mean?
Except for in producing workers, because the obedience.
Do you know why that is? Do you know why that is? That is because the things that kids learn outside of school are the things that they are super interested in wanting to learn.
No, that's not.
However, the things that they need to learn, but they may not have a strong interest for to be able to pursue it personally, are things that are taught in school, and therefore they're more difficult to learn.
You're running into, like, we're skipping over so many things, and it's getting very frustrating to me because it feels like.
There we go. She's starting to complain about him being frustrating. He's just like talking. They've just actually started having about similar talk time. Before this, it's been Demon Mama goes for fucking 5 minutes. He asks a question, another fucking monologue. I'll just do one more bit and then we'll carry on.
Respect to authority from.
Oh, I thought there was going to be an ad break there. I was going to like, if I gave additional ad revenue to Demon Mama, whose video this is, unfortunately, like, oh my god, I would have to atone for my sins somehow, you know.
Respect with equals, right?
This is so weaselly. Just say that you think that teachers have the right to fucking tell kids what to do in every aspect. Like, if you want to say that, the reality is, I don't.
They kind of do. I mean, adults kind of do. I think this person might be a child.
Think so. I don't think that I don't think that teachers should be an authority over children.
And it's interesting how well this ties in with, like, you know, maybe parents shouldn't be an authority on kids either. Maybe they can make decisions that'll put them on hormone blockers, puberty blockers, and then down the road hormones, and then down the road surgery when they're a little kid. I wish it was possible to give a negative donation. Yeah. Fuck me.
I don't think that a degree, even 2 degrees, even 3 degrees, gives you the pass to be an authority over children. I think that if you can say,
well, like, people have to be, she drives me insane. I do not like her.
Like I'm they need to learn time management.
Like,
yes, but there's another aspect, which is
them to go to school, and obviously this speaks to the quality of education today.
All right, this one's quite boring, but yeah, you get the message. She's like completely unhinged, super arrogant, like not really interested in listening. see her like fucking jiggling up and down the whole time. She must have been like nervous as shit during this debate. Like, fuck me, the amount she's chain smoking. Anyway, we got not too much longer. Hairline out. Yeah. Like, trans women love like showing this bit off. Like, it's a bit receded here, and I'll admit that. That's why I do it a certain way, you know? Like, fuck me. But like every single one of them I see, like they all fucking do that. It's like they're proud of it or something. It looks bad, and it's so easy to avoid.
Sure. I guess because it matches with that a bit. I should do that now. Oh God, what is this? Okay.
Or like my hair or Demon Mama's hair. My hair's real.
Okay. Hey, Glooby, I wanted to ask you something. I was informed by a friend that they saw you posting a thread about following the Discord of a guy who's become dangerously obsessed with myself and my family and my friends, and I assumed it was someone impersonating you, and you've recently messaged me, and we talked a bit very friendly. Hell, your on here last messages were helping you get that GoFundMe going. And I want to mention this GoFundMe thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost went homeless one time, and I messaged her that, hey, I'm going to go fucking homeless. I need like help. If you can send this out there in some capacity. She was like, yeah, sure. 4 or 5 days later, I get a retweet from her on it.
Nice.
that was her grand help, which that upset me for multiple reasons. One, because I've known her for so long. Two, I've seen her like do entire charity streams for other people. But God forbid, a close friend.
Yeah.
So I know it's like it just.
How would someone simulate DM hair situations? It's more that a lot of trans women just don't know how to do their hair or their makeup, and possibly don't own mirrors, and maybe they copy people who they shouldn't be copying because that hairstyle might look great on like an attractive woman, but on a fucking male it's probably not going to. And yeah, stuff like that, I guess. I don't know. For me, I was always like kind of a little bit anal about sort of trying to cover up certain things, because to me it's like, well, a woman wouldn't really have that kind of hairline, so probably I shouldn't just like show it the fuck off, you know?
It's just upsetting that was what I got from somebody I apparently helped so much, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
I tell you what, just look for the amount of like trans women that have like side shaves. They pretty much start at the receded bit and like go around from there. Like, it's a terrible look. I don't know why they do it.
So the rest of this. I assumed it was someone impersonating you and had recently messaged me and been friendly, GoFundMe. But when I went to message you, you had blocked me on Discord. I figured I would send a message on here. What, if anything, is going on? Westside Tyler is a dangerous person who recently threatened to dox and injure or kill a friend of mine and a former artistic collaborator of yours. I don't know what's going on, but please be careful in engaging with him. I truly hope you're not going to help someone so unhinged and violent to try to hurt my partner and me. That would truly hurt me to my soul. I'm hoping this is simply some kind of misunderstanding, hoping to hear back from you.
And this is the first time you're reading that. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, they've got to make him out to be like dangerous and shit, I guess. I'm not too familiar with Westside Tyler, but he's another streamer, you know. Anyway.
My partner and I had 3 bets. Either I was going to be guilted, or I was going to be yelled at, or I was going to be told that you were insane.
You got 2 out of 3, right?
Yep. Fuck. That's a message and a half. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't believe anything she's saying here. Gayfish is a cry bully. He whines constantly about people and then removes them, like, or tries to get them banned on their socials or whatever, and then wonders why actions have repercussions. You don't shit talk people and don't expect them to reciprocate in any sort of fashion.
True.
But Gayfish is unaware of what is it? Actions have consequences. Sorry, I'm like, what is it called? My brain is like shitting itself. I'm running circles mentally around myself and struggling to talk. This is a lot.
It's okay. You relived pushing a decade of history in just about an hour, and some of it was more than most people I know would be comfortable speaking on, much less to a stranger. And I really appreciate it. I don't have much to add on top of that. I was saying this to...
Yeah, don't come online if you don't want criticism. Absolutely. I mean, hey, I would say, like, if you're going to come online and talk about, like, controversial shit, then you should expect people not necessarily to agree with you, and you should be able to handle differences of opinion. The other thing is, the one thing I also don't understand is, like, when someone's got to the point where they clearly just can't be fucked with you anymore, but then the other person, like, just carries on going anyway. I always find that hilarious. There's someone on my Twitter who's been, like, going after me for, like, 3 days or something, and after like a day of this person's bullshit, I'm at the point where I'm just like, you're a disgusting freak, like get away from me. And it's like they just won't. Oh no, I really have to make this point. It's like, I don't fucking care. I don't care what you think I think. I don't care about all this like fucking psychoanalysis that all these fucking losers fucking do. Is that us right now? If you want it to be, I don't mind.
Some people I was discussing, not everything, but the nature of what we were going to be talking about. And my general disposition to this was,
yeah, rejecting criticism reactively. I mean, I don't know. It depends who and what the criticism is. Like, certain people, I will literally just reject it out of hand and I don't give a shit because, you know, I don't respect that person. But it depends who it is. There's a lot of people who think arguing is just contradicting the other person. I've had like shitty bosses and stuff like that where it's like they're clearly trying to push a certain narrative because they don't like you or something. And everything you say is like, no, it's not like that. And it's like, how the fuck would you know? Those kind of people drive me insane as well. Because it's obvious when someone's like compensating for something, you know?
I really hoped that you were lying 100% because it was very bad. I would have rather this not be the case. I really would have. And I'm sorry for the things that you went through. No one deserves to go through that at all. And no one deserves to have those as memories that they have to deal with. And I'm personally, like, person to person.
There's people out there, like, even if they are right twice a day, they're probably right about things that I knew ages ago. So, hey, listen, if I don't respect someone, then I'm just not going to care. But, like, there's not actually that many people that I have no respect for. It's usually people that I kind of come across on Twitter and shit. And, like, I guess I don't really talk to people at the moment. That's kind of something I'm working up to because like networking is not something I'm super strong at. But like, you know, this is kind of a long game anyway, so who cares? But like, yeah, I think I'd have to like have enough conversations with someone or just have a certain treatment thrown at me enough times that I'm like, okay, just fuck this person then.
I'm very impressed by you for having the courage to come out about this.
I do really appreciate. I'm not gonna lie. For a good bit of this, and even like my girlfriend was telling me that she was like proud of me for this. I have a hard time understanding when things apply to me with these kind of things. Like when it's like fucked up shit. This is not my first rodeo in sexual abuse. So just I took it in.
Publicly try to sympathize with someone's trauma. I don't know. It depends what it is. I think it can get a bit weird trying to get sympathy for your trauma, like from an audience or something, depending on what it is. I mean, you know, there's definitely things where I'd like, if I explained it to people, I'd have to be like, you know, this kind of brings up this kind of thing. This isn't like a pity party. This is just how it is, you know, but I don't know. It depends what it is. I think it's probably weirder trying to push your trauma on other people than just trying to understand someone's trauma, I guess.
Stride, I guess, and just tried to not let it wear me down like other shit would. But eventually, I guess just seeing Fawn do that or talk like that and knowing how oblivious I was and how badly I was just trying to be their friend because I just wanted friends, it really upsets me. And makes me feel really sick, I guess, as well, to my stomach, knowing that I was not only that I was used in that way, but coming back to Demon Mama messaging me now and saying this stuff, it feels so much like she's trying to save her ass and save her partner's ass.
Do you think it's telling or strange at all that she doesn't bring up what you guys both know passed between you and wants to sort of...
Yeah, the sad part is like bringing something like this up publicly because he's talking about a trans person. There'll be people who, rather than focus on the actual thing, just like with Chris Tyson, oh no, this is going to look bad for trans people. Oh, someone talked about Demon Mama and called him a he. Like, that's so terrible. And it's like, just say it's bad. I got like so irritated. I knew exactly what was going to happen with the Chris Tyson stuff. And I guess the trans cult, like, fucking, they didn't disappoint. Well, they did what I expected them to.
Have the conversation, even at this point, as a victim on her own end?
It is a bit strange, to say the least. I really don't like the fact that after all of this and how vocal she's been for victims of every kind of abuse, that the person that she talks and like she's brought up so much is someone she's actively done so much of it to.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever like I think about the fact that she just brings me up on stream, and I want to mention that as well, that she really oddly, she never talked about me. Like, she stopped bringing me up for like a year. Like, she didn't mention me at all, but relatively close.
Yeah, we're gonna keep on getting this this reputation for groomers. There's two problems. First one is that these trans public figures, you know, e-celebrities, whatever a milder term of that is, they keep getting caught grooming kids. And the second problem is other trans people keep defending it or trying to downplay it because of other reasons. It's like, I don't know. To me, it's just say it's bad. You know, if you've got nothing else to say, or you've got nothing helpful to say, then just say it's bad. Chris Tyson is a bad person for what they did. Demon Mama, I could have told you she was a bad person years ago, but that's neither here nor there, you know?
To when all of this started going down, like timeline was, I randomly brought up and talked about, and I felt really uncomfortable being brought up by her. And I think that honestly spurred me down this mental line of going to you, to be honest. I thought I was done with Demon Mama when I left, and she stopped talking to me and stopped interacting with me like a friend. There was a good bit where we did talk and like interact while she was a streamer, but at some point it just became transactional and like work related exclusively. And then even then, at that point when I stopped working, I would go to her and be like, hey, we should play games. Hey, we should play games. Hey, we should play games. And I would get excuses and ignored.
Yet again,
it felt like as soon as I wasn't of use to her, I was nothing.
One thing I want to just say is if...
God, she just kind of abandoned him. How nice. Well, I guess that's what Vorsh did to all his children. I mean, listen, I feel a bit bad for, like, Xander Hal because... Well, and Demon Mama to an extent. Pretty much all the Vorsh cabal. Because it seemed like he really stopped, like... He stopped collaborating with anyone. And you never saw, like, Xander Hal or, like, Demon Mama or, like, Careful's or whatever in pretty much any of his videos. And then as soon as this little cabal, this little gang of idiots on the internet falls apart, now you're seeing like progressive victory videos where Vorsh is like hanging out with like Alec Gunter and like Nominal Naomi and like loads of other barrel scrapings. Nominal Naomi I have covered. I need to talk about her again probably at some point, but I'm not too familiar with her content. But yeah, like I feel bad for them because it's like he didn't want to use them for like anything, and now he's like appearing on videos with people. Like, what's that all about? Fortress arc ends as soon as his moron friends get the fucking boot. So I feel a bit bad for them in that sense.
Demon Mama was in the room with you right now, and you could speak to her directly. What would you say to her about her conduct?
I would just like to know why. I don't know why, if this is a standard that she's...
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, intuition just takes time, and it takes being around a lot of people, which unfortunately quite a few of these like streamers and stuff. Like you get someone like Xander Hal, who I don't think has spent all that much time around other people since fucking school, you know? I'm pretty sure he hasn't had like a job or anything. But yeah, it kind of takes that, and, you know.
Supposedly has for other creators and other people around her. I don't know why it didn't apply to her and her partners. The people she interacted with then, I don't know why it didn't matter to her then. It just sucks. This fucking, what is it called? Demon Mama, just knowing how much I know about her as a person and knowing everything, it's just very, I guess because I was living through it, it wasn't surprising then because I was living through it. But now it's just really surprising to me that after all of this, she's talked and how much she's pushed for all of these things, it all just goes back to being bullshit and being a front, and behind closed doors, once again, abusive behavior is at...
Yeah, I've watched quite a lot of like true crime stuff about like predators and stuff. I've had my own experience in a way, so like I don't know what it was about me, but like I was definitely like a much easier target when I was younger. So like, yeah, I've kind of had my own experiences there. But yeah, like some disgusting people out there for sure. And it's not just to find someone to control, or to find someone to sexually abuse, or to find someone to bring into your cult or whatever. There's like so many reasons why people like do this kind of shit, and it's pretty disgusting. Like Demon Mama doesn't sound like the worst person I've ever like heard an expose of, for sure, but she's a bit gross and she's a bit of a groomer, and I already had so many other reasons to dislike her anyway, which still very much apply. So hey,
the front end of it, I guess. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank here. I'm like having a mental moment about all of this.
No, it's perfectly reasonable. As a matter of fact, we can go ahead and move on. I want to give you a chance to say you're Glooby. You're an adult now. You're separated from this.
Yeah, physiognomy. Like, I know that the way that it's used is like BS, and if someone used physiognomy on me, they would assume probably that I'm like soy as fuck, I would imagine, but hey.
There's more than likely people are going to want to try to reach out to you. I will not provide them any direct way to do so, but if they wanted to support you via commissions, you are still an artist, or anything like that. Do you want to plug a way to try to help you out or support you, or do you have anything else that you'd like to say in closing?
Let me think if there's anything I missed before I get into that. Gone over that, went over that. Okay, I think I went over everything I wanted to. You can support me on Ko-fi. I think I have it somewhere. I can look it up. But I have a Ko-fi if you want to support me. I don't expect or really want support if possible. I don't. That's not what I'm. What is it? Mentally and all that doing that for. But
you know what? I need to stop pausing so much. I need to try and finish this soon. But like the amount of people, it feels like a lot of people just want to like fast track knowing what someone's about, and like won't talk to a person, or like, you know, try and understand their vibe and shit. But instead it's all about like it's all about just putting them in a box as quickly as you can, and like they'll look at who you follow on Twitter and that'll sum you up as a person, or like you'll say something as a complete shit post and that'll be enough for someone to make a huge judgment on you. People don't want to have conversations and actually do the work necessary to really understand each other, which really sucks, especially like in trans circles where you'd assume like a bunch of us are like autistic and stuff. Have we not like been misunderstood our whole lives? So why are we trying so hard to do it to each other? Like to me, I try and not judge people too fast. I try and listen to a bunch of things that they do, and like if possible try and talk to them, you know.
But that's an option if you want to commission me. I do animation and 2D art. I mostly do 2D animation though, as my main artistic ability. I will also say this about doing the animated stuff for Demon Mama. I got underpaid for that, and I had to argue with her to get better payment for that, and that's what spurred on the whole like, I need to, what is it called? What is it? The channel is struggling, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Like I had to. I did 2 animated commissions for her. She has this little imp that pops up in all of her videos that does like the like and subscribe. I think that's also my work. And actually, this I forgot to mention. This is a big thing about the work stuff as well. For about a year.
Hey, we need an ethical consumption boycott on Demon Mama. If we can do one for JKR, we can do one for Demon Mama for underpaying this person.
In 3 months, my work was uncredited in her stuff after I left.
Oh no!
And I had to go to her DMs and be like, hey. My shit isn't being credited, and
these people always act like they're the fucking paragons of virtue. And I don't know about Demon Mama, maybe I'll look actually, but like so many of them will like go on and on and on about fucking AI. Yeah, true. I only watch her for like bits and giggles, you know. But like people like her go on and on about like AI and how it's like stealing, and how you're like taking away like, what's the word I'm looking for? Taking away like opportunities for actual people. The nuking of Xander, disgusting freak. She is worse than Xanderhal. Like, fuck me. Like, does she talk about AI at any point? Because loads of these leftoids do, but I don't know if she does specifically. AI fraudsters want to eat the world. AI art debate. God, maybe I need to watch this at some point, because it's like she'll barely pay for her own shit, but she'll argue against like fucking AI art, you know. Loads of these people, like Elon Musk is another one. They've got all these like classic AI simps from orbit. Yeah, this person's a fucking hypocrite. Yet another reason, as if I needed more. to think this person is disgusting.
It's really upsetting me. Why hasn't this been updated? And to her credit, it did at that point be updated, but I don't think it should take a year and a half or like a year and 3 months.
Yeah, why has he got to ask? Just fucking do it. You'll go on about how like AI is the worst thing ever by the look of it. I haven't watched the videos, to be fair. I could be wrong. But by the sound of it, like, she should maybe think about whether she's like paying her own people and like crediting her own people correctly. Like, fuck.
For my work that you constantly still use on every single video to be credited, and especially if you're not going to pay me for the constant use of my work after the fact. I got paid like $40 and it's been used for like fucking, what, 4 years now?
Jeez.
$40. Jesus.
That's that. If you've watched my streams, I'm very.
Listen, if $40 is anything like £40, that really isn't much.
Very pro workers' rights. I've been burned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get it. The frustration is miserable. Thankfully, I've only been ever screwed over by people I didn't like already, so there wasn't an extra bit of sting there. But I too am a little bit brain twisted. I kind of I'm stunned by this. You seem like a very resilient person. I can only wish you the best going forward from this. And I
know what you're saying. For the most part, the leftoid arguments I see are mostly about like art, you know, taking jobs away from artists. To be fair, if someone was to hoover up a bunch of commissions and then just type in loads of prompts and just send them off after like half an hour or whatever, that's like scummy as fuck. But like, you know, how can Demon Mama talk when like doing that kind of shit? Like, what's she doing for artists? Underpaying them and not crediting them very quickly, apparently. Yeah, there are far bigger concerns with AI. I think art is just one of the first things that's been like really hit by it.
I'm going to end the call, or not the call, the recording, and then if you want to add anything after that, you can. But if you want to say your piece, and I'll end the recording, we can cut it there and then say our goodbyes.
Sure thing. Honestly, at this point, if there's anybody else in DM Cord that has had something similar, please say something about it, because I doubt I'm alone. At this point, I'm the only person that this has happened to or something similar. If that is the case, please do come forward. I hope if my thing does anything and means anything, it allows other people to talk about their stuff. And for Demon Mama, you need help, and Fawn really needs help. It just sucks because I know there is a good person maybe in there. There was a little bit, but for that kind of shit, it's fucky. I don't want.
Because Urban Outfitters plagiarized. This is from Urban Outfitters. Maybe it's stolen work. Oh no. Oh well.
Them to like get destroyed and dogpiled and fucking annihilated because I know they're people. And
yeah, I'm probably wearing plagiarized clothes, whatever. I don't know. We have a fair amount of clothes shops, but there's not many that sell shit that I actually like, so I don't know. we all make selfish decisions, you know. Just like Demon Mama makes selfish decisions by sharing porn with minors and not paying her art people.
Even after all of it, I still care about what happens to them. I still care about them. Their safety and well-being is very important to me. So if anything, I want it to be not overtly vicious overall towards them. It's not worth it. It's not going to bring me anything. It's not going to make me happy. It's not going to make me feel better. It's just going to stress me out and make me feel worse about the entire situation. So that being said, those fuckers need help really bad, because that's fucked. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And yeah, I got nothing else on that front.
Fair enough. Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, and I really appreciate you coming out and like letting me talk about all this and giving me a space to air it all out as well.
No, absolutely. I hope the recording is perfect. I've been freaking out because this is like one of the best conversations I've ever had with somebody. And thank you again.
Very much appreciated.
There we go. Wouldn't pay him properly. Wouldn't credit him for a long time. Shared porn with him when he was a minor. Demon Mama. Gotta love the representation.
Thanks again to Glooby for reaching out. To reiterate, I've confirmed Glooby's real identity through photographs of their state ID, and they are the age represented in that conversation. I am profoundly disgusted by the situation, and I believe without reservation that these issues will not self-correct without a robust response and intervention by the authorities that be. I believe Fawn...
I think it also won't fucking self-correct because trans people don't want to fucking out each other in communities when it's clear a lot of us are like fucked. Like, that's one of the reasons I feel like I need to speak out against this shit when it happens, because people need to know it's not okay. And we can't just fucking do whatever the fuck we want because we're trans people, you know? Or whatever it is that that goes through these people's heads to make them think it's okay, you know?
One's actions specifically, and Demon Mama's actions to a similarly.
Oh wow, I've watched like videos about Brianna Wu. Like, maybe I'll watch more stuff. Like, I think I've watched like a couple of videos of hers, and well, that she's been in, and it's been very up and down because she knew about Keffels. Like, that's for sure. I guess not. I know what you mean. But yeah, like Brianna Wu. I don't know as much as I could about her. I watched that Queeman video about her, like, and I watched the debate they had, which was infuriating. Yeah, I mean, I feel the connection because, you know, I'm trans like a lot of these people are. And whether I like it or not, there's going to be some generalizations which I'm not going to like because of how many of these people are just complete scumbags. But I don't know. I just live with that, you know. I'm used to it.
Egregious extent violate federal law regarding transmitting pornographic materials to minors.
I'm not pissing in the same pool. Well, I'm not pissing in my own pool.
Pursuant to United States Code, Title 18, Sections 1470 and 2252, and 47 U.S.C. Section 223B, though local statutes may take precedence in this case. I'm going to end this video by simply urging people in this sphere who have associated with Vosh, Demon Mama, or the other individuals mentioned in this story to question everything you know and everything you think you know about your relationships with.
Yes, just in general. You should have stopped that. Hang on.
Or the other individuals mentioned in this story. I'm going to end this video by simply urging people in this sphere who have associated with Vosh, Demon Mama, or the other individuals mentioned in this story to question everything you know and
yes, exactly. That's all we need to do. If you've been around Demon Mama, Vosh, all those fucking freaks, you should question everything you know because you've been fed a lot of bullshit. And I'm so fucking glad this shitty little fucking cabal of shitty little streamers is being, like, pulled down. All right, so that's Westside Tyler. I recommend looking him up, should I say. That was a really good video. I want to end on just one more thing.
Hey, hello?
Hello. How you doing?
Dude, I'm sorry. This conversation, you're so desperate to, like, shoehorn. This guy is, like, the nicest guy in the world. He's been, like, super chill the whole conversation. And you were, like, so thirsty to shoehorn into being an incel. Why?
Wait, what? Wait, is that your like unironic read of the conversation?
That is
Destiny?
like the easiest read of the
Dude,
world.
okay.
You should go back.
Wait,
Wait, no, hold on. I have to leave soon, so I don't have time for you to like ramble on to your dipshit
come
points.
on,
Okay?
wait. I just came onto your fucking show.
Yeah, that's great. I know, but
I didn't realize the stupid memes are being here, but hey.
But I'm just telling you.
They're not stupid. Listen, this is a great video. ESKI. It's good.
Telling you. I'm just telling you.
Let me talk.
I'm just telling. I didn't sleep on Cam. I talked for more than you both did combined for the conversation. Okay.
No, you didn't.
You're really great at doing like all of the little like clown symbols to show like how desperately you're not owned. But
are you
literally
doing this
all of
now,
us
too?
like listen through. I'm not.
Yeah, in the debate, she used to do all this like these like faces and stuff, where it's like when someone says something she doesn't like she eventually started. I think because he took the piss out of her. I think she eventually stopped doing it. It was like crazy.
God, I'm not so sensitive.
The only person, Matt, you came on to my show and you cried for 3 hours about me bullying people on Twitter, and you're gonna pretend that I'm the mad one,
Dude.
when
You're
you,
still
when you
mad
play,
about that?
No,
Wait, you know that everyone thinks you got blown out.
you know
on
that when
right?
you keep saying
Like,
you're
everyone
mad
who's not
over and
a
over and over
full
again,
content-
all you do is sound mad, right? When you scream
Wait,
over and over again, are you mad? Are you mad?
Isn't like appeal to majority? Is that normally a leftist thing? I feel weird whenever I hear like leftists do that kind of shit. I'm surprised. I mean, listen, the majority in my country were voting for the Tories over and over. The majority in my country voted for Brexit. You know what I mean? I don't care if everyone thinks that I'm wrong about something. Like, then fuck everyone. I don't care.
Are you mad? Are you mad?
Wait,
Are you mad?
think-
Are you mad?
wait.
Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad? You know that just makes you sound really mad, right?
Destiny.
You know that every
Hold
time
on.
you make one of these dumb faces,
Yeah, I was hoping it would just be the thing, but I can't be asked to find another video, so.
Destiny. Hey, Destiny. Hey, Destiny.
like
Hey,
you're
Destiny.
literally
Hold
the
on.
comic
Hey, buddy,
you're the
buddy.
Woj.
Yeah, that one in specific, like the appeals to majority, like, well, you know, everyone thinks you're wrong because, you know, that kind of thing. I think that's bullshit. I'm amazed that like leftists do that kind of thing. I'd have thought we were the ones that are like, don't just be brainwashed by the media that you consume the way rightoids apparently are with like Fox News and shit. But like, no, it's not like that at all. I remember when like leftist online places were like, you know, it'd be all the rightoids making up shit about the left, like, oh, Obama's a communist, Joe Biden's a communist and stuff, and then like making fun of them because of how ridiculous that is. And then fast forward a couple of years, it's like, yeah, we are the communists, you're right. It's like, oh my God, kill me, actually murder me.
Jack guy who's like, I'm not mad, you're mad, okay? So anyway, my original point, wait, how many of these faces do you have memorized for stream?
Wait.
Oh, I forgot. Wait, hold on, let me do it. What?
Are you all right?
Wait,
like,
are you still mad?
Okay, first.
Wait, hold on, wait. What?
Dude,
what?
Hey, listen. Hey, Destiny, this is great memes. I don't actually know what's
Kit 6000. I'm already watching the best movie of all time, but thank you.
wrong with you at the moment.
Wait.
You actually seem unhinged.
Okay, so
yeah,
this conversation, the entire time.
I didn't even get to say hi, Destiny.
Please, I don't want to say hi to you. You're a fucking loser. I don't want to say hi to you. I'm not calling you to say hi to you, okay? I'm just calling you.
You're so mad, dude. This is actually hilarious.
Wait, are you mad? What?
Wait, I think you've lost the ability. I think
you've lost the ability to make any arguments. Have you lost the ability? Have you lost the ability to be a? Have you lost the ability? Like, I can't believe you actually can't do it. You actually can't do it.
Cam, by the way.
Have you lost the ability to actually can't do it? Are you mad? What?
This is gonna be beautiful.
What?
Listen, Destiny.
What?
You're not on cam. I don't know if you want to turn on your cam so you.
No,
can
not really.
Because
this is like a 2-minute conversation. Okay. Okay. So backing up before all the theatrics. Okay.
Wait. What do you mean your theatrics? You screaming about me and doing wait a minute. Like this is.
Here's another question. If you disempower half of society, do you acknowledge that you're empowering the other half of society? Do you understand that?
It's my turn now. It's my turn now. It's my turn now.
My turn now. No, Destiny, it's my turn.
You've got to. Yeah. Okay. Last question then. Last question. No. Just I'm serious. Last, and then I'll answer three. I will answer three in a row of yours. I'm just for the last one. Do you acknowledge that if you disempower half of society, do you acknowledge that in a way that's empowering the other half?
She makes a huge mistake by believing Destiny when he said that, by the way. I'll answer three of yours.
I guess it could.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you walked back every single argument that you gave. You are a worthless fuck piece of shit. Have a wonderful night.
Anyway. There we go. That was Demon Mama. Disgusting person. Groomer. Not really that hot on workers' rights, it turns out, when it's her own workers. Shocking that a leftist whose anti-capitalism would suddenly turn into yet another fucking capitalist with all the excuses as to why the little peons don't get paid fuck all. So that's nice. Yeah, the Vorsh cabal is down. Vorsh is a lolicon who's now working with people like Alec Gunter and Nominal Naomi. Xander Howell is fucking gone because he's a complete moron who burns every bridge he fucking comes across. God knows why. Keffals is a scammer and a bit of a groomer herself and all kinds of other shit. She's supposedly left the internet. Tipster plays fucking Resident Evil for about 10 people. No one gives a fuck what he thinks about anything. He's never having a decent career ever again, so it's probably good that he got some clout in his earlier years because that's all he's getting. It's over for him. And Demon Mama wanted to relish in the downfalls of people like Keffals when it was convenient for her. Wanted to relish in the downfall of like Xander Howell, knowing what he was like for like 6 months before putting out any of that shit. Pretty much she put the last knife in after everyone else had already put the fucking knives in fucking one after another. It was becoming completely obvious that people like Xander Howell and Keffals were not people that could be supported. But hey, Demon Mama will always be there to put the last fucking knife in as if her shit doesn't stink too. I've always known that she was awful. I've known she was fucking terrible for years. She is not a good debater. She isn't a very intelligent person. All she's doing is filling people's heads with shit, and they go along with it because she says things they want to hear. It's like eating fucking chocolate for every meal. Like, yeah, it's probably what your mouth wants because it's tasty, but it's not good for you. And long term, it's not going to have a great outcome for you because sooner or later, you're going to have to start undoing all that shit. And people are going to start having to like deprogram you instead of living their own lives. And that's a lot to put on them, quite frankly.